Good day, guys. Let's give a few minutes so more people arrive. Probably 10 minutes. If you can hold with me, please. We have an interesting episode tonight, and I hope all the evidence that will be shown is appreciated by you all.
I've got a secret I cannot say, a modern movement to give it away. But you've got something that I understand, I hold it in tightly, call on command. Leap of faith, do you doubt? Cut you will, I just cut you well. Whatever you do, don't tell anyone. Whatever you do, don't tell anyone. Look for reflections in your face. Canine devotion, time can't erase. Out on the corner, or locked in your room. I'll never believe them, and I'll never assume. Stuck in belief, there is a lie. Promise is promise, and eye for an eye. But we've got something to reveal. No one can know how we feel. Whatever you do, don't tell anyone. Whatever you do, don't tell anyone. Whatever you do, don't tell anyone. Whatever you do, don't tell. I think you already know how far I'd go not to say. You know the yard isn't gone. I'm taking us on. Whatever you do, don't tell anyone. Whatever you do, don't tell anyone. Whatever you do, don't tell anyone.
Sound of Queens of the Stone Age, so I started keeping a secret.
I guess I'm the only dumbass that keeps that.
Don't feel so down. Don't feel so low. Keep the movie rolling. The story's getting old now. Oh yeah. Things are looking so good. Looking California. I'm feeling Minnesota. Show me the power, child. I like to say that I'm down my knees today. Give me the butterflies, give me a way till I'm up on my feet again. I'm feeling outside, 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 outside. Someone left the downtown to show you where the trail's at. The grass is always greener. Where the dogs are shitting. Oh yeah. I'm feeling so down. Even though I'm dragging, kicking in the lower. Still I feel I'm sinking. Show me the power, child.
Would you like to say?
That I'm down my knees today.
Give me the butterflies, give me the way.
Till I'm up on my feet again. I'm feeling outside, 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 outside. Show me the power, child. I like to say that I'm down on my knees today. Give me the butterflies, give me a way till I'm up on my feet again. I'm feeling, show me the power, child. I like to say that I'm down my knees today. Give me the butterflies, give
We start in 5 minutes.
me till I'm up on my feet again. I'm feeling outside, 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 outside.
Party in the garden, wish I was falling in love in the summertime. Ooh, yeah, yeah. And I'm unified, feeling oh so unified. In the lockdown, in the lockdown. We were born on the garden of Eden. Flowers grow up and little birds chirp. I was in the garden just having a laugh till I met a monster across my path. Hey guys, do you want some more trilla? I could get you lit up one or two ways. What's it gonna be, man? What's it gonna be, man? Said I felt like the whole world was begging me to rain fire above upon my enemies. Till the love washed over me, till I let the love wash over me. Said I forgot the whole world begging me to rain fire above upon my enemies. Till the love washed over me, till I let the love wash over me every day. So you, that's why we call it blessing. Every day. So you, that's why we call it blessing.
Okay, we're starting after this song.
Every day is a gift.
Good day, beautiful people. Welcome to another Total Disclosure podcast. It's episode number 6 since we relaunched the brand, and I'm hoping you're having a great weekend so far. This is going to be a deep dive into the mega thread that I did on Twitter, exposing Good Lion, Ari brand, and all the shenanigans that seem to lead, sadly, that seem to show that Nick is working perhaps as a low-key informant for a three-letter agency. It's not empty accusations. We're going to show all the evidence that supports the case. Here, we just don't believe in the trust me, bro kind of philosophy. Here we show proof for everything we say. And if it's an assumption on my case, on my part, I'll make sure to state it clearly. So it seems like today everything is working as it should. Finally. Thank you, Starsky. I don't believe that we should have a pope, but thank you for the compliment. I'm not I'm not that kind of guy, I think, but I appreciate the compliment. Let me see, where do we start? There's 2 mega threads right now, part 1 and part 2. It's gonna probably be 3 or 4 parts. A bunch of the hard evidence comes on the next 2 parts. The first part is more of an introduction, and the second part it focuses more on Ari brand and that whole corruption around that product, which is basically a snake oil. Even if they don't like it, we call it like that. I'm still waiting for my lawsuit, by the way, Nick and Alpa. You said you were gonna serve me. That 5 teams of lawyers had the case, and that I was gonna get sued here in Portugal because I exposed your product as unsafe, unverified, and just plain simple another grift. So this is going to be also a Q&A. I want you guys to feel free to ask any questions during this podcast, and I'll make sure to answer most of them. If I missed one important question, please let me know. Okay, it seems like there's a back large screen. Okay, YouTube. Okay, great. So everything is working fine. YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, Twitch, locals, all of you guys are good. That's what matters. I don't want to start and leave anybody behind from the process in itself. Okay, 17 minutes in. We might start right away. So, thank you, Julie. Appreciate it. Let's start. And well, it's what these guys do. They always threaten with lawsuits. Then they actually issue death threats. They actually have to get someone else to issue the death threats for them because they're too coward to do them themselves. Nick and Alpa had to run to little Sasha Stone so he could actually threaten me. Okay, not much interested on services right now. More on the evidence that we're gonna show. Okay, so without further ado, let me see if I can pin. Okay, great. I'm gonna pin this one for now. Okay, so any question that you have, let me know, and I'll interrupt my reading of the thread to answer the question. So we start with the mega thread that I published what was it, like 5-6 days ago. I'm gonna share my screen, and I just want you guys to confirm that you can see Twitter. So right now, you should be seeing Twitter and the 4 images here. Okay. So I will just ask for someone to confirm on Rumble and someone to confirm on YouTube, and we'll get right to it. Everything working fine? Let me know. Okay, Rumble works. I assume YouTube works as well. So let's start. Okay, control position, nickel beer, part 1. Most people got to know about this unsavory character to his part in the J6 PSYOP. Before that, the son of illegal migrants was known due to his Pervywood series, exposing pedophiles in Hollywood, D.C., and for his QAnon grifting as Good Lion TV. Obviously, I'm not gonna bash these films. I think obviously this is what make Nick popular in the circles, is these films right here, Pervywood. And I wrote 4 of them. Other people wrote other ones, and I don't know if Nick even wrote one of them, but I assume he did. Obviously, those films are not bad. There's good content in there. I'm gonna give credit where credit is due, because Contrary to some people, this is not all about hatred, and it's not all about me. And I do have the capacity and the conscience to admit, first of all, that I'm not perfect, and that even my own quote unquote enemies have their own little merits. Okay, so that's important. Um, it's always important to, when you are exposing someone that you are close to in a way, to try to do it as least personal as you can. Obviously, this issue has been very personal for me and my wife because of what Nick did to us and the way he handled things. And I'm just not the guy you fuck with. You may have more money, you may have more followers, you may think you're cuter, but push comes to shove, you ain't smarter and you ain't tougher. So I think you beat more than you could chew here, Nick. And I'm gonna, time is gonna tell, but I'm gonna prove it to you. Um, as his former associate and only real friend, according to his fiance, I witnessed firsthand many of the contradictions and abuse to the detriment of his own family, friends, colleagues, and followers. More egregious is the fact that he's a bottom of the barrel FBI informant. The evidence of this will come on part 3, which we're not going to touch today because I haven't published it on Twitter, but once I do, we will go over it. This is me. I know that Will Bird made a podcast covering this thread, and I don't know if he thought that this was Nick, but no, this is me. And, yes, I used to play in a band years ago. Let me just check the chat here real quick. Okay, YouTube is good. Everything is great. Hello, Cindy. Hello, Liberty Repost. Starsky, Magical Maiden. See what now? Very glad to have you all here. Don't be shy. Just participate in the live chat. All of your first reached out to me on October 20th, 2020 to use my research on the murders of Chris Cornell, Chester Bennington, Anthony Bourdain, and Avicii. By then, I had already figured out the Silent Children was a Mossad psyop to distract from Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and the evil widows, meaning Chris Cornell and Chester Bennington, Vicky Cornell, and Talinda Bennington. And of course, in the case of Anthony Bourdain, I'm referring to not his widow, but his then girlfriend, Asia Argento. Okay? So, let me see. So you can see the email, guys. This is the film, our first collaboration. He basically grabbed my articles and narrated verbatim, which was fine with me. This is the first email that Nick ever sent me. Let's read it. I am researching for my next film and noticed you're making a film as well that is along the lines of my trajectory. And you read this email and you can already gather there's some ego in here. But everyone has their defects. So my goal is mixing the Silent Children documentary, the claim of Bourdain, Bennington, Cornell, and Avicii having a connection, and including Michael Jackson and Prince. It's in fact the topic of the 8th installment of my Perwood series. Perwood 7 was a collaboration with another writer. I make really high quality films. My YouTube has 60K subs in 6 months. I was nuked with the grades a few days ago and immediately started my streaming platform, Good Line TV. The work you do is stronger than many, and if our talents joined, I would gladly throw a splash logo of your company at the beginning of this film, which will be seen by 100K plus minimum. The Perwood series had 1 million views with just the first 2. This is part 8. I know you're making a film also, but I promise I will do your brand a solid. People depend on me for not just high quality research like yours, but high quality production. Also, you'd be listed as a writer of film at the start of the film, with me as I write intros and outros. I could interweave what you have written already into something beautiful. Check out my site and let me know what you think. 2021 could be epic. Also, I'd be done with the film in about 1 weeks and a half. Nick. So there's his phone number, whatever. Let me check here. Okay. So welcome, Shelly. Well, yeah, glad you're here. So this is the cover of The Silent Children, which I will dive into this later on my own account. I already did Natalie Denise released a documentary about Chris Cornell and Chester Bennington, and then I appear in the first episode clarifying why this was a psyop and a distraction, and why Chris and Chester were not involved in this project, as far as we know. There's nothing to support it. But anyways, when I saw that Nick was going to do a film based on this, which is misinformation basically, I immediately alarmed at the notion this guy was going to further promote a psyop. I alerted him of my findings at the time unpublished. To not see him taint his rep, little did I know, lol. I agreed to the collab with little to no expectations, and he used my articles pretty much verbatim. So my articles are here. The film was released in October, in like December or November 2020. This is an article I wrote on August 16, 2020, about Chris Cornell. A superficial article, not very deep. This one was written 4 days later about Chester Bennington. So all evidence is there so far. This is my reply to Nick. Dear Nick, it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm glad you reached out. Man, I was a subscriber to your channel. I'm so fed up with the bullshit. Amazing Polly was one of my top as well. I'm glad you created your own platform. It's a must. I also had to create my website because it was getting impossible on social media. I respect your work and will surely love to join forces. At this moment in time, I understand we need to fight together or perish. I love your editing skills, by the way. I'm checking your site and will comment further. We'll stay here for a while tonight. I replied in urgency because I believe The Silent Children might be a psyop. I was doing a podcast on the film, and the information I found is so troublesome. I decided it would risk my projects and my life. And so it's postponed until further notice. I'd love to share all this with you so you can make up your own mind. I outlined where exactly the theory came from, and it's not a good source. I was one of the 5 people who made it viral, along with an open secret, anti-lawyer, Jamie Deluxe, and Mr. Self-Destruct UK. At the time, we were all in contact. I no longer talk to any of them. I can't explain why. I'd love to speak via Telegram if possible so I can share files with you. I'm willing to reciprocate with the credits on Louder Than Love as well, my man. Let's help each other out. I'll do what I can, as you obviously have the biggest following. No strings attached. I know changing the film is a pain, but it's crucial you get this intel first. You may be falling for a trap, but find solace that you can publish what I give you and just credit me. I'll back it up on my film and do the same. Maybe a few tweaks will suffice. I know this may be a bit upsetting, but I'll ease you in. Cheers to a prosper 2021. So he replies, rock on. Wow, bro, wow. Great news and greater news. Phone. Find me on Telegram. I'm Jeremiah Q. Jones on there. Wow. I'm so intrigued. So this is crucial. You notice that Nick at this time already had these ghost accounts that he uses on Telegram to stalk people and to pretend that he's one of his followers, actually. It's a bit ridiculous, but some of you on the Will Bird Beer Confessional channel will recognize this account, and some of you in the Phil Godleski chats will also recognize this. So this is an admission on October 19th, 2020, by Nick, Good Lion Films at Proton Mail, that he uses this Telegram account. So that's settled. We proved that. Good. We continue. Yeah. Let me just answer this about Chester Bennington and John Podesta. They do look very similar. They do look very similar, guys, and you know, it's almost like I think it's over 50% facial match, but obviously there's not strong, nothing concrete to support that. And two people already came out denying this. It's Susan Eubanks is the name of Chester Bennington's mother. She denies that. She says that she never had any contact with Podesta. And Toby Nair, the sister, also denies it. So, we are all about the evidence and we're all about giving you the correct information. So that's what happened with that John Podesta thing. Okay, let's continue. Give me a second, please. Okay, so point 4. The film was released, and even though most people consider it the best Perbywood film, few seem to know I wrote it. Only natural, since Albiar barely mentioned me or my website while advertising or commenting on it. One of his common practices, after all. Now, to make it clear, he did add me to the credits, and of course, later on, he sent me $317 for it, even though I'm sure he profited, I don't know, probably like $10,000 with this film, at least when he first published it. But whatever, I gave him the information without any financial attachment, so that's on him. It's just not my style to ask for, and I used to be innocent like that before, not anymore, of course, after all of what has been happening. Yes, John Podesta could be Chester Bennington's father. That's true, but that doesn't. I mean, it changes things in a way because it makes it more personal for the Clintons, right, and the whole Haiti debacle. So in that regard, that's why it would make sense why Podesta brokered the grant that Bill Clinton gave to Mike Shinoda to open the recycling plant in Haiti. So we're clear. That's what actually happened. Let's continue. Fast forward 2 months later, the U.S. elections had been stolen, and Albiar was getting ready to storm the Capitol to take the country back. His own words. We spoke around Christmas 2020, and I warned him against going to D.C. He got angry and assured me it was no psyop. I remember talking to Nick around Christmas and telling him, "Hey, man, I don't know if you should do this. This smells like a trap. This is just." Nick loves mocking fat people for some reason, but sometimes when you have a ceiling made of glass, you shouldn't be throwing rocks. And I guess you didn't know how to use the steroids back then, didn't you, fella? It seems like we went a bit overboard with them. Anyways, I advise him not to do that, not to go to J6. And he got super hostile. He was like, "No, people that say that this is a SAP have no clue. We're really gonna change things. We're gonna change history. Blah blah blah." Okay, so didn't take my advice. Boom, got busted. Now I don't know if at this time he was already a federal asset. How things played out. it could be either way. It could be he was already in, or they got him because of this. So obviously, this is a key moment in in our lives, in his life, my life. This is the moment I basically stopped with, you know, um, with promoting Trump in any way, and involving myself in politics. Not because I'm not a conservative. I am. I'm not. I mean, there's no there's no choice for me between the left or the right. Obviously, what the left promotes, I don't believe in. And to be honest, the thing that really changed things, it was obviously this debacle that the election got stolen, and they let it happen. Those that believe in the Q thing say that this was to show people how bad things are. Of course, this has shown many people how bad things are, but I just don't believe in sacrificing millions of lives when you could actually take charge and change things. And what do I know? I'm just a podcaster. Um, he filmed himself inside the Capitol getting high and getting others high. Geez, what would we do without his contributions to freedom? Was he 32 years old or an attention seeking teenager? Was that his original plan, or was his performance pre planned for a different motive? Now, this is something that for me it strikes me as weird. Okay, like, if I storm the Capitol, obviously that's not something I would do, but yeah, she noticed. Let's see, let's bring another comment. Let's put this here. I wonder if I can pin that. Okay, that's good. That's a good comment. I think many of them, there were a number of them that were into that, but I do believe that Nick was the main one. Let's see how many people we have. We have 80. That's good. You can see here Nick on the Capitol, and his whole demeanor in this thing, like the way he's dressed, and like it seems almost like he was playing a part of this doobie smoker. You know, the hat, the pants, it's like a bit uncharacteristic. You know, Freedom Plaza a day before J6 when he was called Rotunda on Instagram. You know, and if you see things shallow in a shallow way, I'm not gonna deny Nick has his charm. Like he's not a when he's not being petulant and immature and petty, he can be a charming guy. And but as we know, there's a lot of criminals that can be charming. This is Vincent Fusca, who some people were back in the day claiming that he was JFK Jr. You know, which seems a bit ridiculous. I don't think he even fits the height of the guy or anything. But anyways, he recorded the whole process, and he claims that that's what saved him from a bigger penalty because he documented his journey inside the Capitol. So let's continue. On February 10, 2021, Albier live streamed a YouTube video called Smoking with Rotunda, in which he talked about hiding in the closet when a police officer came over earlier that day. He was arrested the very next day, even though he claimed he was completely safe during his video. So this is the distance that it takes more or less to go from Washington, D.C. to Virginia Beach. 3 hours and a half, 4 hours, give or take. These are some of the videos that we uploaded. Let's watch it.
What you need, people like that? Yeah! Never back down!
Next one.
We got 1 joint, 2 joints, 3 joints. Do you smoke weed? You want a joint? All right, take a hit of his. 5 joint. We got 1 joint, 2 joints, 3 joints. Do you smoke weed?
Thanks for everybody. Great. Getting the opposition docile and high. I don't know if that's such a good idea during an insurrection, bro. Like, if you're storming the Capitol, whatever you think you were doing, you know, that just doesn't make much sense, right? Yeah, you are all just doesn't make much sense. And okay, let's see. Let's continue. Albier's brother, Camilo, contacted the FBI on January 20, 2021, confirming his ID. Brother lives in Ventura, California, and involved with local comedy shows. Albier was dubbed the Capitol Rotunda Doobie Smoker while on the run until his arrest in Virginia Beach on February 11th, 2021. So this is the information. Witness 1 contacted the FBI, identified Eduardo Nicolas Albier Gonzalez, an individual who stormed the Capitol on January 6, 2021. So he basically identifies the doobie smoker. It seems like, I don't know, if you see how Nick was acting during this event, it seems almost like he was directed to play a part. That's the impression I get when I look at things more closely. This is Nick's brother, Camilo. I guess they don't like each other much. I actually saw Nick provoking this guy on Instagram in public, actually tagging him, and you know, he's using his following to make others feel lesser. That's what he does. That's his MO. Albier remained in custody until March, when he was released and given an ankle monitor. He was arrested for 45 days and released despite lack of remorse. He repeatedly mischaracterized and glorified the events, plus frequent self-promotion and public statements describing J6 as beautiful. And this is a video that I think went along well with what happened that day.
The FBI confirms that U.S. Marshals arrested Eduardo Nicolas Albier Gonzalez.
so far, so good. Let me check the comments real quick. Yes, this is ironic right here. Okay, this is stuck. Let me see if I can go up or down. I think he's a CI. I think he's nothing. It's not even medium level. He's just being used. I think the purpose was obviously to entrap a bunch of people on J6 and get them arrested, including people from the Proud Boys. It seems like they were really targeted, those guys. His website works as a data gathering service, and I'll explain why on the part number 3 of the thread, in which I will show evidence, because he stole a domain from me and he bought it from a location IP address in Virginia that belongs to Newstar. But I'll touch on that on the next episode. Albier was born in Venezuela and was 1 year old when he arrived in the U.S. with parents Nelson Albier, born September 1263 in Chile. Possible CIA links, no known profession. Remember that during the 70s and 80s in Chile, we had the whole Augusto Pinochet debacle with the CIA involved in that, political operation, basically. Initiated by Richard Nixon. And who was working with Richard Nixon back then? Roger Stone, who is Nick's highest contact, the closer one to Trump nowadays, Roger Stone, a man that Nick claims he texts quite often. So that's just for you to know that link right there. And Clara Albier, born January 4th, 1960, Venezuela, criminologist, life coach, and neuro-linguistic programming practitioner. Very interesting this here, huh? It kind of explains some of the characteristics of Nick and, certain things he uses, like that weirdo voice that he uses for his films. So this is Clara's Facebook. You can see here, neuro-linguistic programming practitioner, GVH Corporation, and where there is smoke, there is fire, right? Okay, we're keeping a steady viewership, so that's fine. Looks older than stated age, I agree. Okay. You can now gather why Albier is so shy in regards to open borders and illegal migration. Strangely enough, much of his past has been scrubbed from the internet, which is a skill I assure you he doesn't have. Who scrubbed it and why? Can you address these things, Nick? Like, where is your past? What happened? Like, why are you so ashamed and afraid of it? Why was your MySpace wiped out clean? Why was your LinkedIn wiped out clean? He attended Santa Barbara City College 2013-2015. It says here from 2013-2015. This was a LinkedIn profile that was bleached. His past is a mystery, but rumors of a colorful sex life are plenty. And I'll address that on the next episodes. Would make sense why it was all scrubbed. Being a bisexual musician wannabe doesn't really go with the hardened patriot image, which he has slowly but surely switched to. If you remember how he started, he started doing astrology readings on YouTube for women, basically. That was his meta crowd. He was doing conspiracy theories too, but he was all about astrology. And I guess this was when he was in college. I don't know. He looks weird. Like, this necklace is very colorful. The whole thing seems a bit sketchy. But he has a daughter, so at the very least, uh, the broken clock has been right once. Things that make you go home, like these things that like I don't know what you have in your head when you post things like this, or what kind of people are you trying to attract with these things? Because listen, guys, I smoke little tobacco. I probably smoke a pack. A pack lasts me 2 weeks, unless I drink, and I rarely drink. I smoke weed. Okay, this is another thing that Nick lies about. He says that he's 6'2", but I don't think he is. This looks more like a 5'9", 5'10". So you ain't 6'2", Nick. Tough guy. Tough guy. This is the tough guy that we should all be scared about. When he's not on his testosterone, steroids, and whatever else he's shooting, the foot lotion, snake oil, he looks like this. Switch. This is funny. Starsky is funny. You're a funny individual. Okay, this is a great comment. I like this. Let me read some of your comments so I can carry on. Thank you for joining us tonight. I agree. I think there were a lot of people like Nick that day. Yeah. Sadly, I'm completely convinced now. When we started working together formally, 2021, I had my doubts, and I told my then fiance, now my wife, about them. But when a man is in a hard position, and the mind doesn't work as it should, I should have have started my own thing since 2020, and I just didn't have the drive, like the getting banned from everywhere and just getting my income cut from the root. Like Nick likes to brag about how much more famous, more wealthy, and more popular he is. But everyone starts somewhere. This guy seems to forget that when he started doing this, I had already a following of 30,000 people in between all platforms combined, which is not very big, but it's bigger than I have now. And that's what censorship does. Uh, if anything, Nick should be more humble and accept that he didn't make me or anything close to that. I was already me. I was doing this since 2018. My huge expos on Sasha Stone and the ITNJ was on 2019. So by the time Nick came along in this so-called movement, I was already making waves. Of course, he got more followers on YouTube for some reason. I'm not saying his first films were without merit. I like the Pervywood films that I've watched. I think his later work is total crap. And I just don't jive with the new age thing as much. It's not my thing. But we both have our history. We both have our great films and our bad films, because I have to admit that there's products I've delivered that I'm not completely proud of, and that I actually want to remake. I've been thinking about remaking, for example, the Isaac Cappy documentary, because there's new information coming out. That's a film I would like to remake. I would like to remake Anthony Bourdain. I think it could have been done better. There's many, especially the first documentaries I made, because I guess the practice has worked, and now my English is way better for narration. There's many films that I did in the beginning that I would like to remake, just to fix the audio. So none of us is perfect. This is not about being petty, even though yes, I will throw a jab here and there because this is how he chose to play the game. And if you jab me once, I might let you jab me twice, but then I'm gonna jab you some 5 or 6 or 7 times, and that's the way it goes. Albier was aware I had lost it all due to censorship. Patreon, PayPal, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Wise, and that my current job at the time disabled me from being able to produce much content. This is when I took a hiatus. I basically stopped doing podcasts and articles for like 6 months. I got this night shift job as a risk manager, trying to save money to come to Portugal, to Europe, and meet my now wife, which, we were in a long distance relationship, which, as weird as it is, it worked, and most times it doesn't. So that was nice. At the time, my fiance and I had been, yeah, okay, relationship for a year. So this is just the evidence that this happened. This was January 24th, 2020. This is Patreon banning me for violating community guidelines concerning harassment. This was due to exposing Gabe Hoffman, basically. He sent his lawyers to Patreon, and that was it. PayPal, same thing. This was Gabe Hoffman. They closed my account due to the excessive risk involved. It has been permanently limited. Remove all reference to PayPal from your website, auctions, all of it. So all of it was gone. I believe this was around May 2020. So it took a while. My takedown took like 6 months. This was YouTube. I got banned probably at the same time that Nick did, the first time in 2020. I don't know. It was like, I remember it was like in September or something like that. And my Twitter was, of course, suspended. Now it's open. It's functioning again. It's the same account. I sent an email and they reopened my account. I guess Elon Musk doesn't have anything against what I said back then, which I got suspended because first I said that COVID was a bioweapon. That was like in January 2020, and I got my first strike. Then I called Gabe Hoffman a midget. That was my second strike. And something else happened. Something else silly happened for my third one, and I got deplatformed. So, showing evidence for everything. I don't think Bourdain and Epstein are brothers. They do have a similar look, but I don't believe in that theory as much. But he got murdered for sure. Awesome. Yeah, the guy that was in our how do you call those little vehicles? RBs, right? It was an RB, a four-wheeler. Yeah, this is very correct. It seems like Nick's followers are brainwashed, and they are just not able to recognize anything that is dubious about their leader. And this is the thing. I don't have okay, I have subscribers, I have viewers, I have an audience. I don't consider people my followers. I think that's like I'm some kind of crazy cult leader, and it sounds freaky. I don't like it. And I don't think like if people attack me, you will never see a drove of 10, 20 people going to defend me because I never sent anybody to defend me. I don't need to hide behind a bunch of people. Roger Strong and Michael Flynn. Yes. Sasha Stone, he talks a lot but says nothing. Absolutely. Let's spin this for a while. Okay. So let's continue. My priority was and still is her. She lived in Portugal. I lived in Costa Rica. You know, a few people don't know, but this is like my history. My mom is American. She was born in New Jersey. She moved to Costa Rica. She met my father, who was from Italian family. Her family is from France. They had a baby. That's me, and that's basically it. I lived in Long Beach for 2 years. I have family all over the states. I have family in Illinois. I have family in California. I have family in North Carolina. I have family in Baltimore. I have family in the north too, in Wisconsin. So, obviously, I'm very connected to America and now, of course, Europe. That's where I live. Due to my online presence, I am unable to find a job as recruiters frown upon what I do. When Albier offered me a deal to produce content full time, it was a no brainer if I wanted to see her soon. So, this, people say, why did you accept that offer if it was so low for you? Well, I had no choice. Okay. I had just gotten a job working from home as a public relations executive. And a week or 2 weeks later, after I was there, I think 2 weeks later, they found my total disclosure stuff and they fired me just because of that. They said, obviously, you cannot do public relations for us and have this online presence. Are you nuts? And it was a bummer. So that's the reason. Nick doesn't. Hey Julio, Nick doesn't appear on the Awake Nation anymore, actually. But so this is what happens. So guys, if you want to see my films, if you want to support what I do, I will. I publish articles several days a week. Publish new movies. Louder Than Love 5 is coming next week for sure. It's almost finished. Um, I ask you to please go to the website, check it out, and if you like what you see, acquire a membership. We have a 30% discount with the code that you see on the top of the screen. It's code BW1224, and that will give you 30% discount on all memberships. Obviously, most of the content I produce is for free. Like most of it, at least I'd say 50%, 60% of it is free. And if I count the articles and the free films I have on my website, it's close to 75, 80% is free. So what you're getting for the membership is just supporting my work. Like I'm not trying to put everything behind a paywall. And also my objective is to put every single film that I've made in article form. So anyone can access the articles, and then if they want to see the film, then they can acquire a membership. But that implies my information is open for everyone, which is very important, of course. So this is me announcing a documentary about Isaac Cappy. This was middle 2020. And, you can already see things here brewing. A film exposing the conspiracy to murder one of the most notorious Hollywood whistleblowers of all time, Isaac Cappy, actor, musician, a candid human being. When a man denounces rampant pedophilia and child sex trafficking, you would think anyone in the world would support his courage. However, men like hedge fund manager Gabe Hoffman, acclaimed Hollywood director Steven Spielberg, multiple Oscar-winning actor Tom Hanks, the infamous Bush-Clinton cartels, military mercenary Craig Sawyer, and intelligence wannabe buffoon Elahi Priest decided Isaac's voice had to be silenced. Helped by the cooperation of other minor characters whose job is to discredit legit researchers looking into the case and attacking child sex abuse victims. Gaslighting, counterintelligence, gang stalking, and millionaire lawsuits are used by wealthy pedophile enablers to sweep the crimes of their associates under the rug, with the only goal to control the flow of information and gatekeep the so-called truth movement, a movement now tainted with infamy as traitors like the Fango, Phoenix Enigma, Lestat, and an open secret use every method available to intimidate innocent civilians who are only trying to do the right thing, dig out the truth, and honor Isaac Cappy. The main cartel pulling the strings is not other than the Mossad financial group based in America, the Mega Group. Steven Spielberg, as a founding member, has undeniable links with Leslie Wexner and Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, so gaslighting, counterintelligence, gang stalking, and millionaire lawsuits are used by wealthy pedophile enablers and not so wealthy. You know, who else participates in this kind of actions? I don't have to tell you, right? I started working for Good Lion TV on June 5th, 2021, after accepting to produce 3+ videos a week for $1,000 a month. I delivered Vaccine Genocide, the first documentary exposing the poisonous COVID vaccines ever published. Plus, I started a weekly news report to meet Albert's request. So this is my very first documentary, the very first documentary made on the subject. I don't want to touch much about that because YouTube doesn't allow it, but you can see the covers there. Obviously, this is the first weekly report, a very basic cover. Over 2 years, but over 2 years ago, almost 3 years ago. It's been a long while. Yes, Cernovich and Gabe Hoffman are buddies 100%. Oh, it's 12:23. Oh, okay, let me change it. Okay, thank you. You see, sometimes something goes wrong, and I don't even know my own code. But thank you for that. Thank you for that. I hope your cats are well, Magical Maiden. Okay, so far, so good. Was there doubts about working with Nick? Sure. I hardly trust anybody. However, I was able to publish my content elsewhere, plus had complete creative control, which was crucial. Did I like him working with grifting gatekeepers? Not at all. But I decided to focus on me and share my credibility with him. This is one thing that I don't know if he saw the purpose in that, but actually me working with him helped his credibility. Of course, he had a bigger following, but that doesn't mean that you don't have this bad links, this bad company. All these people Nick has worked with up until what? 2 months ago, 3 months ago, such as Stone, Charlie Ward, Jason Q. There's a bunch of people there that I don't want to mention because, as I've said, that's a subject for another day. But as with everything, the proof is in the pudding. This is a post by Good Lion on Telegram, I suppose. Explore our current day and age through the mind of Alessandro, an independent journalist, filmmaker, and musician, as he exposes criminals, Vaccine Genocide 2, and all these episodes I made for Nick, Blind Items, Hollywood Exposed, CERN's Large Hadron Collider, Weekly Report, horrible cover, pardon me, but I wasn't even proficient in Canvas at the time. This cover I actually made like 4 months ago, so you can see the improvement. Nothing too flashy. Okay, 17. Now this is where it starts getting interesting. Okay. The first conflict came during Brackets and Jackets, the murder of Isaac Cappy on August 9th, 2021. This is 10 days before my fiance arrived in Costa Rica. So obviously the pressure to keep working with Nick and to have the funds to show her a good time because she was staying for 45 days. She had to come back to college. And if we hit it off, the plan was for me to follow her right after. And I did, after a while. It wasn't as quickly as we wanted, but, things worked out fine in the end. Thank God. As I exposed the lies of Corey Daniels, as known as the Phoenix Enigma, he called Albier with a dramatic tantrum, threats, and lots of crocodile tears. When Albier demanded I apologized, I said no. So here's Isaac. Of course, this is part of the so-called Mossad media matrix. If you remember Brackets and Jackets, you know this. You have Steven Spielberg, Jeffrey Epstein, Leslie Wexner, Tom Hanks, Sasha Stone, Lahi Priest, Gabe Hoffman, Alex Jones, Craig Sawyer, Robert David Steele. This is this guy from Media Matters. Brock, I forget his first name. Jack Posobiec, Stephen Aldrin, who is no longer with us. Not dead, but just out of the picture. Thomas Schamberger, Mike Cernovich, Big and Mikey, and Tefango, Phoenix Enigma, Lestat, the roommate of Isaac Cappy, and the landlord lady. So, I really put some time on that investigation. It seems something strange happened on Rumble. We lost a significant. Okay, now it's 86. Okay, that was weird. So this is what happened. The first conflict. You see here the date, August 9th, 2021. Time sensitive. Business requirements. Nick Albier, Nick at Good Line TV. Hey, Alessandro, hope all is well. I'm emailing you to keep things formal and on record. I need to make you aware that your content lives on my platform, Good Line TV. Therefore, I am responsible for said content. In order for us to continue working together, which I would like to do, I require some clarification and some things from you. First of all, I love your content and want to build a lucrative and mutual business relationship with you. Lucrative for you, right? In order for that to happen, we both need to be a little more professional. When I post your material, I take the risks that go along with it. This includes our recent situation with Corey Phoenix Enigma. How you handled your interaction with Corey is a direct reflection of my company. I have suffered the consequences of your actions. Now, this is because he insisted that I speak with this guy, who I don't like, I never liked, and it was an unnecessary conversation. I say he's a liar. As a journalist, I believe his research, his gatekeeping is evident. His research is flaky and biased, and he's just a weirdo, on top of it all. He insisted for me to talk with this guy because he was offended about our documentary, which mentions him like twice, and it doesn't really focus on him. So whatever. But Nick wanted me to apologize because I basically told Corey to piss off. I don't negotiate with terrorists. And if I sense that you had something to do with the murder of my friend, of someone I consider a friend, Isaac, I'm not going to talk to you. I don't want to hear about you. I don't trust you. I don't want you near me. And so this was the situation. He asked me to talk with this guy. I spoke with him. It didn't went the way he wanted because I didn't apologize. I just, I stood my ground. And that was the first conflict. To correct this potentially dangerous situation, I require you to to make things right with Corey. No matter your beliefs, theories, or opinions. So, my beliefs, theories, or opinions don't matter, only his. This is a human being who would have a legal leg to stand on. Now, this involves me, and that is not okay. I ask you to apologize professionally so that we can prevent any further repercussions. I'm only trying to guide you and help you so we can continue to monetize our talents. If you are able to do the above, moving forward, I would propose a proper payment schedule so that you can organize your expenses and know where you're going to be paid. We agreed on a rate of $1,000 per month for 3 or 5 films a week, which I still want to honor. Moving forward, and of course, Nick knows nobody will do what he wanted to do was to create volume for his website. He knows that nobody else is in a situation as dire and desperate as I am. And I live in a cheap country, Costa Rica. So he knows that I am possibly the only quality guy that he can get for this amount. And listen, I don't know if you guys know, but in Costa Rica, the minimum salary is $500. With $1,000, you can make an okay life if you live outside the capital. Like I used to pay $250 rent, so it's not impossible. It's a good life. Obviously, when I moved to Portugal, things complicated with this, but we'll get to that. Um, Moving forward, the minimum amount of content per week will be 3. So far, I have paid you. So this is the amounts so far. He did give me an advance here to help me buy the plane ticket for Lua, for my wife. And, I repaid him in little increments. We did this like 3 or 4 times in 2 years that we worked together. So, 3 or 4 times for 2 years, I don't think, because Nick goes around saying that I was always owing him money and all that. So, show the receipts, buddy. You have the text, you have the Wise account, you have, like, I can show all the payments you did to me on my bank accounts and Wise accounts, and that will show that I wasn't asking or getting any loans like you claimed. Okay. So it's all about evidence, and this guy doesn't have any. I have received from you 14 films over the span of 6 weeks. That would be 2, 3 films a week. This is fine for now, but in future, a minimum of 3 films per week is needed to meet our agreement. If it's not met, payment will be adjusted accordingly. Today, you have an advance of over $1,200, and I'm unable to advance further funds until these films are provided. Based on our agreement, you are shy a minimum of 12 films to honor your part of our agreement. I know we've been friends and I appreciate you and your talents, but most importantly, I hope you receive this email with the love, blah, 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 blah. Lucrative business and friendship. Listen, and this is just an unbiased comment. Here, Nick was not a terrible person. I'm not going to exaggerate and okay. There are things here that are not fair. For example, 2 days prior this email, he had told me not to worry about deadlines, that he knew I would catch up with work, and he knowing that Ana Lua was coming to Costa Rica and that we were renting, Airbnbs because I wanted to show her around the country. I actually showed her both coasts, the Pacific and the Caribbean. Very beautiful trip, and we managed to make it with that salary plus a small advance. He told me not to worry about it. He knew that I was on the clock because she was coming, and that my laptop was having problems on top of it all. So 2 days before this Corey Daniels thing, he said, "Don't worry about this. You'll get your salary every 2 weeks." And this one didn't go as he wanted, so now he changed things. He said, "You need to deliver me 12 films before it's your next pay date if you want to get paid." So, the most I've done in my life is 1 film a day. And that's doing 16, 18 hours, no sleeping, drinking coffee like a madman. Back then, I used to smoke a lot of cigarettes. I guess the documentary that comes to mind is The one about Freemasonry, Order Out of Chaos. I remember I did one episode or two episodes in 24 hours, no sleep, just on coffee and cigarettes. And but that was the most I could do. And that was because the narration was already pre-recorded. But anyways, this wasn't as bad. Okay. This is not like, ooh, Yes, this was an exploitative salary, but I didn't know how much Good Lion was making at the time. And just for you, I will show you evidence of this later. But, well, in fact, I can show you evidence now. Why wait? So let's go to Telegram here. And, nope, not this. Pin messages, pin messages. I think I skipped over it. Because I have a graph here that is very interesting and I think we should get acquainted with. This PC, I don't like it. It's not my PC, it's Lua's, but let me see. Okay, so here, this graph this is the Good Lion profits for 2021, guys. This is $5,000. So you see, in January he was a bit below $5,000. Then he had a bit of a down time, I guess, because that was when he was in jail, right? And then he came out, obviously gained some momentum. Getting out of jail, he doubled to 10,000. And then I came in here on June, and you can see clearly what happens, right? I started on June 5th, and it goes from 10,000 to 25,000, just like that. By July, we basically doubled 2.5 the earnings. And there was then a downsize. I guess it had to do with me being delayed with some of the videos. It could be. I mean, if I'm considering that I have something to do with this, then I also must be fair and say that I had something to do with this, right? But then again, and this is a mixture of me putting out more good content and Nick putting out good content and his podcasting, which of course I'm not going to deny is a huge factor, but you cannot deny either that Total Disclosure arriving here had something to do with this, right? Especially considering that I had a huge following before I got the platform, a bigger following that Nick at some point, not anymore, obviously. But this is for you to see that Nick was making this and I was getting $1,000. So I was collecting this out of all this labor. Obviously, if he pays taxes and all that, but I don't think he was. He needs to prove otherwise. But if he paid taxes, let's say 25,000, hey man, it's 1,000. You should at least pay the guy 10%, 20%. So for me, 2,500, 3,000 would have been fair here already. But whatever. This is not even the main thing of the whole debacle. Okay, it's several things. Several things. So that's something that you're seeing for the first time, most of you. Most people don't know how much Good Lion makes, but that's the evidence I have. Obviously, I have other things to support it, and I will show it later. Pues, yes, indeed, I was getting underpaid. the Mossad Media Matrix. Yep, I completely get you, Julio. You were spot on. You weren't mistaken. I think I saw one of your comments on BitChute, or I don't know if it was YouTube, but I think I remember you. Starsky, spot on. Spot on. So, okay. So this happens. He demands I apologize. And the email exchanges speak for themselves. Nick never owned my content as he claims. He simply had an exclusivity agreement. He accepted these terms, and this is when he started to test the waters, talking about contract that he would never even drafted and use for manipulation. So this is my reply, and listen, you can gather from this reply that this wasn't the normal employee. Like, he describes me as a disgruntled former employee because I was trying to help him. I mean, the audacity of this guy. But you see the email exchanges that we had. This is not a normal boss employee relationship. This speaks by itself. So let's read it. Brother Dick, I know you want to have a legal backup for this, and I agree you should. My actions should never cost you legally, financially, or else. With that said, I hope you know I respect you, and I have since day one. Our styles are different, but they complement each other, as you have a softer hand in dealing with these subjects, while I charge like a wooden horse. It's what I know, and it's what I am. That said, I have been making efforts to better my responses, and if you think this Corey Phoenix Enigma ordeal was bad, you should have seen my temper 3 years ago. Yeah, I was bad, guys. Like, I was anger management bad, but at this time, like, I was here way more calm, and I guess that's thanks to my wife. In a large part thanks to her. I feel disgusted by what CPE did to you, but the truth is this: you and I have a joint venture. People don't know you pay me, and they don't have to know. Now, this is not me being sketchy with the public. This is me about not giving ammo to people like Corey Daniels that they just want to disrupt. Why give them ammo? We are associates. You don't have exclusivity over my content. No exclusivity. But your subscribers have exclusive access. Your brand is on the credits, yes. But even when I showed you verbatim what I said on our chat, because I showed him what I said to Phoenix before sending it to Phoenix, and he said that's pretty innocent. So then he had a problem when, I don't know, this guy threatened him or what. These films are on my website too, and BitChute. Even if you remove them because they pressure you, I won't. What changed? Is this because of my email exchange with Corey? That's a 100% personal issue between him and me. And it's personal since the moment he started throwing threats and insults my way, even mentioning my fiance on his live stream. Do you think I have respect and apologies for this guy after the stream he did? Go see it, man. That's not someone who dwells in the light. Why would you ever want to work with that guy is beyond me, but he's rotten. Here's the link. So I would never tell you what to do or how to live your life. I can advise you and try and help you like a brother, just like when I prevented you went in with the Silent Children psyop and risk that coming back to harm you. I gave you an exclusive on my Silent Children Cornell expose without knowing you or even watching one of your films before. And this is actually the truth. Like, when I spoke with Nick the first time, I had never watched one of his films. Obviously, after he wrote to me, I went in and saw one or two. You gave me broad vibes, and I stopped caring about exclusives a long time ago. I care about the greater purpose. I care about the right people coming together. I'm not disregarding your feelings. I respect your views and your tact about showing love to people. I have been betrayed enough doing this. I have my limits, and that's why I didn't want to interact with Corey. But you insisted, I did, and so I did. I'm sorry, I fucked up there. And things got heated, and yes, I mocked and trolled him after he called me every name in the book. saying he was going to destroy my name or reputation. One thing is being decent, polite, and kind with someone who is calm and neutral, but someone who is acting insane. Corey accuses me of chaos. What chaos? Two 5-second mentions in almost 5 hours of footage. He hasn't even bothered to comment on the rest. He's focusing on himself all the way. Blah blah blah. So I sent him a proper polite response, which I copied to you. After that, he went on with insults, threats, and 1 hour video dragging my name through the mud. At which point, all respect is gone, and I owe no respect to this individual. 14 films over the span of 6 weeks, so we need 12 more to catch tweets. So it's 26 in 6 weeks. Okay, I'm sad because I realize I cannot just depend on this income, and I feel forced to look for another source of income, especially with Anna coming here in 10 days. So this is because Nick told me that he wanted me to work only for him. Okay, so I never bothered to look for another job, even though I wasn't completely happy with the salary, because that was kind of a requirement for him in a way. Even though it was more like a partnership, what he wanted me was to be completely focused on producing content. And since he produces like one film a month or two per month tops, of course, when I delivered 16 videos a month or 12 in the beginning and 16 later on, that made his exclusive content grow in a level that he would have never done by himself in such a short amount of time. In 2 years later, what do we have on the website? We have over 300 exclusive videos. 50 were by Nick. The rest were done by myself. Okay, so the email continues here. I'm sorry you feel I was insistent, but you let me talking about myself Saturday night until now, and we also had things to publish. Your integrity is on the line here, Tunic. Are we really caving in to gang stalking and flat out cyber terrorism over an innocent video? You told me you snapped back at them too, and you even said tell Gabe to suck a dick. And now you are reprimanding me for mocking a man who is on a mission to destroy both of us, or at least this partnership. I do have to say an apology to Corey from me is out of the question. My films are a reflection on your okay. What I meant to say is my films are a reflection on you, but my actions as an individual are not. They are just not. Unless I'm a criminal, of course, which I'm not, and once one side disrespects, insults, and threatens, the other side is not forced to just turn the other cheek. Be meek and take it. That's not how I built my rep, by taking it. So, it's a bit of a drama thing, but, it's just like this was the situation, the pressure, um, you know, the stress. Like, one of the things that I told, like, if you are caving to such a weak guy, what's the message the stronger perps will get? We're basically exposing a bunch of powerful people with our films, our content. So if this guy is going to be chickening out for every John Doe that gets irate and sends him a few emails or calls him and whatever, what's he's going to do when he's really under pressure? So, it seems like a lot has changed for Nick since he was afraid of Phoenix Enigma, and now that he's going after everyone at once. The change is substantial. I always acted based on my principles, even knowing my fiance was to arrive in 10 days and stay for 45 days. I stood my ground, risking a falling out. Alvier understood I was my own man at the time and continued with our agreement for the next 2 months with little issue. Okay, so this is his reply. I forgot to show it. You know, this is for you to see that he wasn't this unhappy, miserable, like trying, like he loved my work. This is what he said. It's not my fault that we spent 2 years working together, talking every week. He tells me that, obviously there were some episodes he wasn't happy with, and he let me know. I remember that happening on some 3 or 4 occasions, you know. But those things happen sometimes. Sometimes we don't we don't deliver the most astonishing content. Sometimes it's also a matter of taste, personal taste. Art is subjective and all that crap. So perfect, awesome, great work. Also, the other day on the podcast, you mentioned I paid you 1,000 for work month, and you previously made 4,000. Yes, I made 4,000 in my work in Costa Rica and as a risk manager. And I just sometimes I wonder if I should have kept this and just use these funds to start my own thing. So you can see here clearly he's quoting me. This is you and I have a joint venture. People don't know you pay me, and they don't have to know. He highlight this, and he says, so this is an admission that he doesn't own my content as he has been claiming. So he's actually stealing from me. The matter of the fact is that as long as he has those videos that are meant to be members only on his website at all, even if they're free, he is stealing my content. And add insult to injury, because he already defrauded me in my calculations according to the profits that Good Lying earned. He has to be defrauded me for over $150,000. Okay, so we're talking about life-changing money. This is not peanuts. And one thing is people is stealing 5K from you, and you just say shit happens. But another one is this thing, and the guy having the audacity to go after you, to close your Instagram, to gang stalk you, to go after your wife, to falsify WhatsApp messages, to paint me as a drug addict, as a crazy bipolar, I don't know what else. It's just bullshit. Solution: when we finalize a contract, so he starts here with the contract talk. And this is August 15, 2021. This is 2 years before we started working together. He never delivered a contract. I will have so you accept full liability of your work, full ownership, full liability, right? So that you have the freedom to produce at your will. In this case, I'm purchasing content from you and not taking ownership. Not taking ownership, right, Nick? And what have you been doing? And what you have been telling people, liar? And or any liability. As a content creator, you will need to brush up on what is technically copyright infringement and how to go around it. I can help. I'll be approving whether or not I can purchase your work based on that. In getting to the size Good Lying is heading, legal formality will be our greatest production. So heading, right? It was already big, but his intentions were to minimize profits, not even mentioning the great up spike we had. Because it's astonishing how underpaid I was. But he claims he paid me very well and that he was my brother. Sure. And to think that I was going to invite this guy to my wedding and he was to be my best man. Jesus Christ. What would I do with the pictures? Fucking, sometimes we really believe in people and people we shouldn't believe in. And I should have been more cautious with this guy and demanded a contract early on. Of course, I accept my whole responsibility in being stupid and naive to some degree. But, we learn. We lose and we learn. So, yeah, I used to make 4 times what I do now. Sometimes I wonder if I would have stayed in this career, perhaps I would have my farm already. I just want to live in the farmlands and get out of the city. Have some just do the farmer thing. I want to be a farmer. And yes, I agree 100% on the contract liability. So this was the dangling carrot for 2 years, the contract, the lucrative contract that never came. So let's read some of your comments. Okay. Have some native viewers. It's a bit stuck, the chat. I wonder if I go to... Let me try to go to YouTube to see the chat there. I have a bunch of accounts here. I might play that later. You guys all right? How was your week? Share a little bit with us. You have been quiet. So let me see, where are the live videos? Okay, this is being played now, so I guess I can go here and check what you're saying here as well. Okay, great. Hello, Shelly, Julio. Oh, Julie. Okay, thank you. You rock. Have a great weekend. Okay. Yeah, you guys are quiet. You're freaking me out. Well, I hope this is not boring. I mean, this is very evidence-based, and I'm just, because my purpose with this is to just end it, okay? I'm gonna do this deep dive on Nick. It's gonna be the 4 mega threads and 2 podcasts, and it's over, okay? If people ask me about him, I'll tell them about him, but I don't want to continue with this. There's more things, more present things to do, and more, I'd say, bigger fish to fry. So this is this is a closure of this whole saga, okay? And also a cautionary tale for anybody that wants to work with this guy. Demand a contract, get your agreements in order, don't trust the guy, be careful. Not saying that he's the devil or whatever, but he has been behaving like one. And it's just it's getting old, and that's why we just want to move away from it. But we need to settle the score. We need to completely clear our names and demonstrate that Nick has not been honest with me, with his subscribers, with our subscribers, because as the numbers show, I had something to do with it. So during this time, Albier was podcasting everywhere, working with shady characters and grifters such as Charlie Ward, Al Paconi, Mel K, and Jason Q. He collaborated with HBO on a J6 docu, and the more he spoke about it, the less it made sense. Al Paconi was his cloud contact. So there he is, always with the fucking hair and the fucking... hey man, I don't know. Always with the tank tops. Charlie Ward, Princess Diana, David Icke, Mother Teresa. A man that used to work to procure girls for Jimmy Savile and launder money for Epstein and Maxwell. A great, great guy. Nicholas Benjamin, Nick Albier infiltrates Netflix. So Nick has always wanted to work in Netflix. For some reason, I never understood that marketing angle, and I never liked it, but I never told him about it. Or maybe I mentioned it once, but he ignored me. So sometimes he did that. Sometimes he snapped. Sometimes he took it well. This is the thing. Nick was cordial, and um, pretty pleasant in the beginning. I guess the first year and a half. There were some dramas, but nothing major. At least not with me, because I just gave him so little reasons for it. Like, I just busted my ass to work for a good lion and total disclosure. And I was putting out content that was just at neck breaking speed, which is what he needed. I didn't go after the people that he worked with, obviously, because it's just not ethical. I'm working with the guy, but I didn't want to work with them either. Like, anytime Nick invited me to this podcast, I said no. And you can gather, this is Al Pasoni. I guess these were happier times. He doesn't seem as fucked up here, but now his face has changed. He doesn't look kind anymore. He doesn't have that kind vibe. It was like a mixture. The Nick of yesterday was a kinder person. Um, you know, of course, and the underpayment and just the flat out demanding more of me all the time. And after all the damage, after all the bullshit, just go and say that my work sucks and that he still profits from it. So, and there's no legal complaints. They've been bluffing with it, at least for now. Well, I think Julie left. Well, we carry on. We have a steady viewership of 100 people, 95, 90, around that. So I appreciate for your patience, and I appreciate for giving me the chance to clear the slate, because for me and my wife is very important. So thank you for that. It means a lot to us. Albier pleaded guilty to parading, demonstrating, or picketing at the Capitol, a misdemeanor with max prison sentence of 6 months. Marijuana wasn't even mentioned during the trial. For some reason, despite his notoriety, he got one of the most lenient sentences of all J6ers. So there he is. The making of the Dewey. This is almost like an MK Ultra kind of thing, right? Because this is a film that he wanted to make, his own making, like how I became this, what happened here. It seems like this is, if I take it by the image, like this line splitting Nick's brain in two, I guess, is J6, because this is when he became the doobie smoker. And J6 is the line that. So what is this line, Nick? Who are you working for, Nick? What's your angle? Why do you think that shorting your friends from money that they outright won and broke their backs for is fine? Why do you think hitting women is fine? Why do you think prostitution is fine if you do films against human trafficking? So much questions, so little time, right, Nick? So, escaping the simulation. And now this is the Nick that we know today. more or less. It's unfortunate. Nobody wanted this this ending, but sometimes things happen, and you just gotta move on. Having attended the trial myself, Nick's trial, I was relieved but puzzled. Enrique Tario, Proud Boys leader, got 22 years in prison for J6, and he wasn't even there. Albier, owner of a conspiracy website, got 45 days, and in his own words, in DC, I was a baller. His ankle monitor remained. So this is very, very telling. Okay, press release, Proud Boys leader, seditious conspiracy, and other charges. 22 years. That guy, well, he might be out, I don't know, 15, 16, depends, I don't know. But his life is certainly ruined. 39. He will be 55. His kids will already be adults. So this is Nick after getting released from J6, looking tanned.
Stories. People are like, where are we going? There's a dude in his cell 15, so 13, 14, 15, and he's like, I was like, oh, okay. And I go, and he's like, yo, what's your name? I was like, Nick, what's your name? He's like, Cash. And I was like, I'm like, wait, Cash Kelly? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Like, you inspired me like to do podcasts that built a community that got me through jail, pretty much. And he goes, oh, sick. And he's like knocking for the guard. And he's like, guard, open my door. And he opens the door and he's like, yo, man, anything you need? And he just like points to all of his commissary, like he's been there for 4 years. I'm like, dang, you got a grocery store in here, dude. I'm like, I'll take some of that. I think I got not anchovies, like sardines, some crackers, some Kool-Aid. And then I was like, yo, can you text my friend Sarah and let her know where I am? Because they'll move you from place to place. And everyone's like, where is he? How do we give him money? And so he did. That guy's going to be in jail for like 5+. And he's got like 5+ kids. He has like 10 kids.
So he's able to have a phone.
Yeah, he was a baller in there. He was a baller like I was a baller in the first jail.
He's able to have a phone. You see that? He's able to have a phone. Yeah, he was a baller like I was a baller. Right, Nick? You're a baller. Let's ball. Yeah, well, yeah, that's an option, Maiden. That's an option about making a documentary on J6, the true documentary on J6, and not what Nick was planning to do. But we have another one.
It was sad to leave. But then when I get to DC, after I woke up all those people with adrenochrome and all this stuff.
So he was giving adrenochrome lessons in jail. These guys cannot believe it's true, but it is. Look, this is the adrenochrome guy. He will come to jail, to the jail near your city and lay down some red pills because he's a baller.
Jonathan Mellis, beautiful dude. It was the first time I got to speak to another J6 around this whole journey. So it was probably day 30, and this dude has long hair, and he's like, yeah, I'm a filmmaker. I'm like, I got long hair, and I'm a filmmaker. Be my best friend.
No comment.
And he was so opposite of me. He was hyper. I might seem hyper, but I'm kind of an introvert. And I was like, sweet, I'm going to bunk with this dude. I'm going to make sure we're bunk buddies. I'll teach him how to meditate, and he'll entertain me because he doesn't stop talking. And then we get into our cell or our bay, and they're like, you're all going to be solitary confinement. And I was like, whoa, fuck, this sucks. I wanted to hang out with Jonathan. And he's like, you choose your pick, number 8 or 13 or 13 or 24. I chose 13 because it was on the first floor and there's a TV in front of it.
TV in front of it and all good, balling in jail, balling in DC, having phones, privileges. It's weird, no? This is a bit strange. Yep. Yep. It's crazy. It's crazy. He is definitely lying, Cindy. Yep. Informant. Informant. Yep. Does not sound like jail to me either. You got it, guys. You're seeing all the evidence, and the evidence is heavy. Albier texts regularly with Roger Stone, a man who has been involved in government psyops since the 1970s. Stone was a lobbyist and campaigner for Richard Nixon, Ronald Reagan, Jack Kemp, Bob Dole, George W. Bush, and Trump. A good candidate for a handler, wouldn't you say? So we have this guy here, interesting character to say the least. He made an appearance here. I don't know why I cannot see his comment. What the hell? Because I really need to see this. Well, Roger Stone had replied to this, but I cannot find it for some reason. This is odd. There's 5 comments here that I should be able to see. And this Twitter thing, I really don't get it sometimes. Because if I click here on the post, in this post, specific post, it should show me the freaking comments. But Roger Stone replied saying, who's handling who? So that was funny. I wanted to show you guys, but wasn't able to. So let's continue. Albier was in D.C. with those who made deals with FBI. Cashley Kelly was sentenced to 4 years on conspiracy charges to possess coke and weed. With intent to distribute as a Latin King member, he got 60 days for J6. So this is what he got for J6 to get specific. He got this over coke, weed, and gang affiliation, I guess. So this was the guy Nick was balling with in jail, balling, right? So he was balling here, staring at the lion. Isn't this interesting? They turn out to meet in jail, and he takes the time to take this picture. Maybe some symbolism in that. And this is the Nick of today. You skip leg day, buddy. You need to go and do some leg work. Just my advice. So we continue. Definitely control a position. Starsky, I've been arrested like 3 or 4 times for brawling and spent the night in the fucking, not even a pillow, you sleep on the floor. They don't give you a phone call. They gave me food, but I was so hesitant to eat it. It didn't taste bad, but it didn't look good, So I don't know. food from jail is a risky business. And yeah, no, like so many privileges in jail. How come? How come? Yes, Roger Stone was setting stuff up on J6. Yes. Imagine. Yeah, I don't doubt this. This is exactly the kind of thing Roger Stone would do. Great comment, man. Great comment. You see, we always learn something new. I didn't know he was giving directions to some of the Proud Boys. This is astonishing. Great information. Starsky 2020. So part 2, I think we are gonna include it in this live because I only want to make 2 podcasts about Nick. Don't go overboard with it and just close this situation. It's better for everyone involved, but I do need to expose what I need to expose. I show personal and external experiences with Nick Albier and evidence of crimes. This outlines personality traits, showcasing lack of integrity, cleans the names of those he has defamed, such as myself. It also exposes blackmail, psyops, and scams. Okay, so let me just take a tiny break and to get something to drink, maybe some orange juice, and so you guys can also take a bathroom break, restroom break, or whatever. Let me see. I forgot the name of this song. I'll be right back.
This is this little swingy kind of version of sex type thing. I said I wanna get next to you. I said I'm gonna get close to you. You wouldn't want me have to hurt you too, hurt you too. I ain't buying into your apathy. I'm gonna learn you my philosophy. You wanna know about atrocity, atrocity. I know you want what's on my mind. I know you like what's on my mind. I know it eats you up inside. I know you know, you know, you know. Hey there, how's your steak? I am a man, oh man, I'll give you something that you won't forget. I said you shouldn't have worn that dress. I said you shouldn't have worn that dress, worn that dress. I know you want what's on my mind. I know you like what's on my mind. I know it eats you up inside. I know you know, you know, you know. Here I come, I come, I come, I come. Here I come, I come, I come. I said I wanna get next to you. I said I'm gonna get close to you. You wouldn't want me have to hurt you too, hurt you too. I know you want what's on my mind. I know you like what's on my mind. I know you shoot up inside. I know you know, you know, you know. I know you want what's on my mind. I know you like what's on my mind. I know it eats you up inside. I know you know, you know, you know. Here I come, I come, I come, I come. Here I come, I come, I come, I Here I come, I come, I come, I come. Here I come, I come, I come, I come. Here I come, I come, I come, I Here I come, I come, I come, I
Okay, let's continue. Thank you for that pause. I was able to get some orange juice. My voice was fading. It's crazy, man. All this freaking psyops. Like, when does it end? I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Tired of all the lies. This is a meme that my wife made. She was angry, very angry, because Nick was talking shit about her. He never met her. He spoke with her only once on the phone. When he called, I was doing groceries, and he called from jail. There was a day like we spoke like 5 hours over the phone while he was in jail. So I don't know. Like, call me a conspiracy theorist, but it doesn't sound weird to you? Like having access to a phone 5 hours a day. So according to Alpa, this is in Nick's repertoire. The divine feminine, the new age thing. He was doing this pyramid weirdo shit a few years ago. And my then fiance and I look at when he was doing a podcast below this freaking thing. Yeah, man, I don't know. Super crazy. And of course, he had an adventure with meth. I don't think he does this anymore, but he was certainly smoking meth in 2021 and perhaps early 2022. But it was mostly coke and Adderall and, hallucinogenics, which I'm not completely against those things. If you're an adult and you want to do them, whatever. Coke and heroin and meth and all those hard drugs, PCP, all those things are just a gateway to demons. And it's just not. If you want to fuck up your life, go ahead. That's all I can say. And a lot of people know what I'm talking about. So Alvia raised my salary to 400 weekly in exchange for 4 videos per week. So 1 more video per week. And instead of, the 200 and something that he was paying me, now he's paying me 400. So it's 1,600. This raise came on February 22nd, 2022. So this by this time the company was already making between $50,000 and $60,000 a month, and I was getting 1,600. My fiance and I married on March 21st, 2021 in Costa Rica. Except for a few arguments and a couple of times I was shorted of my weekly salary as a lesson, 2022 went well. We moved to Portugal, blah, blah. So yeah, there was a couple of times in which Nick just said, "Hey, I'm angry with you. I'm not gonna. You're not on time. I'm not gonna pay you this week, and we'll talk again in 2 weeks, and you have to catch up and things like that." A couple of times, and sometimes that happens. If you have to catch up, you have to catch up. It was the disrespect of telling me from one day to the other that bothered me because you have to be fair. Yes, if I owe you content, then of course you can demand me to catch up, but set the parameters and set the deadlines, especially if it's a company in which only two people work in it. At the time, three people. Alpa was working there too. And there was a lady at customer service also. Then when Alpa left, and the other lady left, it was only Nick, and that's when I offered to help. But this was at the end of 2022, nearby here. So this is some of the films I put out with Nick: Killers Unknown, The Boucherie, The House, Leather Shoes, Kate Spade, Maxima's Sister, The Murder of Inés Urregueta, and Order Out of Chaos, the one I was mentioning before. So around October 15, 2023, as Albier and Alpasani were having constant domestic abuse incidents, Good Line TV was abandoned. Worried about our subscribers, I offered to take care of customer service and marketing for $600 extra a month. So just to be clear, just for this, like if I was fair and Nick was fair, just for one of these labors, you can charge 1,200 a month, and that's very low. And for marketing, even more, 1,800. So I was basically offering a service that would have costed him $3,000 for 600 because I didn't know the situation the company was in. I had no idea he was making bank. And I offered this because I also was living in Portugal. I was desperate to get extra income. And I was afraid that if I asked for more at this time, he was going to say no. And I really needed the improvement from 1,600 to 2,200 per month out of the 50,000 he was making. I obviously expected for this to be raised after he saw that I was more than capable of covering these two things. The customer service, well, I will show you. Let me show you because, again, you have to see it to believe it. So these are our conversations, okay? Nickel beer. Lying disclosure is a beast, bro. I'm your sidekick. You need help, just say the word. Also, we may get the branded app working, which would be huge. Dude, Good Line TV app, that will be humongous. It was a pretty laid back working environment. We're friends, basically, or that's what I thought. And it's just that the turn was so sudden and so weird. And you can hate me all you want. You don't have to like me. It's not about you liking me or me being sad because we're not friends anymore. Like these things have happened all the time in life. Like, I have 2 or 3 people that I have called my friends for 30, 20 years. But after those people, there have been thousands, if not hundreds, that come and go, acquaintances. And sometimes things happen between people, and of course you distance. But Nick is about being a man, bro. It's not about you're a scorned ex-girlfriend, blah blah blah. No, man, it's about you being a rat and just not being honest and exploiting your friend, your supposed friend, when all I was doing was trying to help you, as I'm gonna show in these screenshots, as a friend with this fucking mess that you had with Alpa. And I helped you solve it at the time. I calmed you down. I negotiated with her. I did what I did, even though I didn't want to be there. And you were basically snorting and fucking spending all the money that I should be saving for my own future, for my family's future, wanting to have a kid and stuff like this. Going to bury my father, like I couldn't even attend my father's funeral. I was so broke. You know, this is, I don't want to rant, but it's just so you guys understand. You know, and that was one of the things that was the last drop. Couldn't freaking bury my own father. And I'm gonna blaze some now. So he's smoking weed. I'm planning on moving out of my place January. So this is December or November 2021. At that point, I'll have a greater understanding of funds in and out. But what will nail down for sure is a proper raise, getting you around 2,200 is a must. We can work some new jobs into the mix, like marketing. So he suggested this. That's when I offered to do it a few weeks later for 600 because I was 1,600. So he mentioned 2,200 max, and I went for this, thinking that the company wasn't making that much money. I thought, well, maybe we're making like 15,000, 20,000, and maybe things are to be taken slower like that. But even then, so this is for you guys to see that he was happy. Let's build a trajectory for next year so you can see where I'm looking to get you salary wise. Today, I added more permissions to your roles, gives you more freedoms here and there. At some point, we may need someone to replace some things you do to prevent burnout, but that won't reflect negatively on your pay raises. For example, I may get someone to do support and utilize you more as a finance marketing head, as well as still editing. If you're grooving your flow, it's working, which means I'm gonna be happy to pay you more. Some people see the values of dailies and get entitled without ever bringing money in. That was my mistake of the past. You bring enough value to Good Lion and to my sanity that I see you taking the captain's share of Good Lion if I get too busy with films. You are learning the ins and outs of it and earning my trust daily, monthly, and yearly. Thanks for being integral to this massive mission, and always make sure you are rewarded for your smart and hard work. So these are the emails and messages he sends me while he is shorting me, right? So obviously, like, I'm not paranoid. Like, I'm not gonna be doubting everyone that I deal with. If he says that, you know, it's a bummer. Clearly, Nick had the better deal. Yep. My wife is like this. Like, we go to a restaurant, and unless it's like something like all you can eat or that it's tons of food, she doesn't like it. Like we have this sushi place around the corner. It's all you can eat, and it's a huge menu. It's lovely, it's delicious, and it's 16 euros per person. So we go there like once a month and come back to the house, but in a state like I almost felt high last time that I went there, and I did so much wasabi. I was crying. I love wasabi. It's delicious. Yeah, everything is terrible. The prices here have doubled, and it's not getting better. Things are rough everywhere, man. Things are rough. Love having you aboard. Good line wouldn't be if it wasn't for you. So, race coming January for you. So that's when we got the race. And still was getting shorted, but at least we got a race. So I wasn't I wasn't unhappy. That's the thing. I wasn't complaining. I wasn't this and that. I was expecting for Nick to just say, "Hey, man, you know what? I've shorted you out of so much money. I'm just gonna give you like 10K or 20K, and we're gonna raise you to this, and we'll call it even, or something like that. Like just like a man's gesture, like just having some respect, man, and some decency." And then we have said, sure, like I'm not gonna charge you like $100,000 fucking dollars, but let's just improve the situation and correct it. And things would have been different, but instead he started getting more hostile. First thing I noticed was the abandonment and outright theft Albert's client suffered. Unanswered emails from months ago, unresolved charge disputes, ignored cancellation requests, double billings, and Albert's verbal abuse at the slightest provocation. His ego was out of control. So these are some of the emails that I discovered at Good Lion. Like, this was, for example, this was a month before I left the company. This was in June 14, 2022. A week after my father died. He died on June 7. So this lady, listen, the situation wasn't solved for her. So she got angry. You money hungry dirtbags. That's ill-gotten money. Truth. That's what you're selling. Shame on you. And this is Nick. Hey, Francine, what's your problem? You are the money hungry lady here. We did everything you asked. You going through menopause or something? We provide a service and we aren't here to do to for free. Otherwise, we'd be working day jobs, not providing the service. Do yourself a favor. Go flick your bean, right? And learn to relax and be a decent human. Your attitude is the reason people hate themselves. So do yourself a favor. Give yourself some love, Nick. So just in case he wants to tell you that it was me who sent this, no, it wasn't me. Obviously, this lady, look, she's 62-year-old woman who is living paycheck to paycheck. You're a fraud and a disgrace to the Twitter community. Now that you have shown yourself what you really are, I've lost respect for Alba. Also disgusting. So this lady actually came to Good Lion because of Alba somehow. But as you can see, like just like this kind of thing, like this would never come out of my mouth. Like this is just fucked up. This is very fucked up to say to a lady. And you have to be like, there's no respect for women here. Like I don't listen, guys, men, whatever. Women are not to be put on a pedestal, but women are to be protected. And you can have a disagreement with a woman, but these kind of things are not. This is not. I think if you say this to women, you are a very fucked up person. Okay. It's just, and I asked Nick permission, right, to apologize to this lady on his behalf, because when I read this and I saw that she was 62 years old. This was the age of my father, who had died a week prior. This was his age when he died. So I said, man, this was an old lady, just like my old dad was, and I wanted to apologize. Like I said, maybe this is like something that I'm meant to do. And he ignored me. I did it. I don't think he liked it, but that's what happened. Yeah. So those are the kind of things like it's hard to respect someone like this, and I try to respect him. This is from someone on Instagram. There's no exchange as of yet, just me sending emails to support and getting no response, and there is no other way for me to contact him because ever since he decided to make fake accounts and harass me in my inbox, he has blocked me from all his accounts. This is how he treats his longtime subscribers. Pathetic. This is a lady I met on Instagram that subscribed to Good Lion. When we broke up, she unsubscribed and he just ignored her. He kept charging her card. So, those kind of things that Nick does that people don't know. This is another person. I don't know this person. So maybe you'll have time to read your emails and refund subscription cancellations. Yes, of course. Can you be patient for 444 or does everything have to happen right now for you? This is a great customer service. But he'd rather take an hour to reply on social media than take an hour to reply in customer service, right? Because customer service is all about fixing problems and canceling subscriptions, not charging cards. So that's not much of a Nick's interest. This is a friend of mine. This is a subscriber that I brought in, one of the many, one of the thousands. It was like 2 or 3 thousand people that I brought in, paying customers. 2,000 is my estimation. Wow, what the fuck, Nick? I knew something was up that day. I emailed you with a concern for you, a long time sub to Good Lion TV, and you in return shooed my ass. You lost me that day. I never renewed my sub because of that exchange. Such a disappointment. You could have had everything. This lady is a current subscriber, current member of Total Disclosure. She's a great friend. We speak from time to time on Twitter. And we used to speak on Instagram, but now I'm gone. So this is just like the general behavior, right? This is not something that is just with me. It's not only a personal thing. Okay. Now, let me see. Okay, perfect. This is the platform Nick uses. I don't know if that matters. Wix. It's located in Israel. Just saying. Headquarters, Israel. Albier set his website to allow duplicate plans and clients had to contact to unsubscribe. Many transactions were unethical, unauthorized, but most people don't dispute. I immediately advised Albier to stay away from customer service and corrected his deficient marketing campaigns. So, this was like these things. I did these things. I added these things on the website because it was a mess the way he had it. So I made it uniformed. Yeah. These were the marketing campaigns that I was doing for Good Lion back then. I quit around this time, and I was supposed to get a commission out of this that he also stole. He never bothered to pay that, but that's Nick's way. Mhm. Absolutely, Norma. Yeah, that's sadly. Some people don't bother to do that, to do the smart thing. Yeah. She has issues, but Alpa has issues, but you should never hit a woman like, you can very, like a man, if you're a man, you can very easily restrain a lady without hurting her. Like you don't need to punch her. Like unless she's coming at you with a knife or an axe or some shit like that. Like unless she's gonna kill you, there's no need to use excessive force ever. And there's no need to use force ever. Of course, if she's coming at you, hitting you or slapping you or whatever, you can hold her and restrain her and try to get away. Like that's how I was educated. I don't know what happened in Nick's family, but in my case, like the way I was raised, a lady starts some shit with you, and if the discussion gets too heated, you better leave. And if she turns physical, there's nothing to do. You just leave. You put some space between each other until she calms down. And obviously, if a lady comes, um, if a lady comes at you aggressively to hurt you physically, that's abusive already. So that's not a good relationship. You should try to fix what's up, or just get out. But for some couples, it's normal. Sadly, in Nick and Alpa's case, it seems to be too normal. Your dad sounds like a great man. I'm sure he was a great man, Norma. So let's continue. We have 20 items left. It's been 2 hours and a half. Thank you for your patience. We're doing a marathon today. As Albert took months off while doing copious amounts of drugs, Adderall, LSD, cocaine, meth, and hiring foreign prostitutes who were certainly victims of human trafficking, I advised him the best I could, even intermediating between him and Alpa and hoping for a friendly breakup. So this is him paying me my salary and telling me all these things when he was breaking up with Alpa. I developed a coke addiction from all this, and I hate coke. So here, my alert went off. So that's when I start suspecting that perhaps we were doing way better than I thought, making good money, and this was slipping through. This kind of habits was the vacuum that was just a black hole in Good Lion's finances. So it wasn't not only because Nick was too greedy or too miserable, it was because he was a junkie, basically. And the way coke is as expensive in the States, well, So that night, don't mean to. I mean, he thought that Alpa had cheated on him. Maybe she did. I mean, women cheat when they don't even abuse us like that. I'm referring to what Alpa used to do to Nick, like spitting on his face and stuff like that. What a travesty. Don't mean to put more coal on the Coca-Cola, but I just woke from a horrible nightmare with Lua. Just a nightmare. This wasn't meant to be anything that happened between my wife and I. I had a horrible nightmare with her, and I was, sometimes that freaks me out. I don't like nightmares with my wife. I don't think nobody does, okay? I just threw about an 8 ball down the drain. So imagine, like, this guy's throwing 8 balls down the drain that are $300, and he's paying me $100 per video. That doesn't seem nice, doesn't it? So obviously, I'm not happy to hear about this. Not happy at all. But when he says that he threw the 8 ball down, of course I congratulate him. I'm not a freaking junkie like he says I am, and I'm actually happy that he's trying to be clean. I wouldn't care if she cheated on me. I just find it fucked how she plays it like she didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, but I've thrown cocaine away so many times only to just buy it again. So fuck. The next thing is I need to stop myself when I think everything's okay. I told Alpa this, how I needed help. It didn't do nothing to her. I told her months ago I was gonna go sober. She laughed at me. I asked her for help. Being with her was hard. So Nick is always the victim, no matter how it plays out. And listen, Alpa is no victim either. These two deserve each other, but it's just, And obviously, I don't want to. We have to consider it that this guy is a woman beater, so she will always be in danger as being where she is. But that's her decision. There's nothing one can do there, you know. Not much to bargain with. So Nick, after Albira left California without permission from his probation officer, seduced by Mika, a real estate agent and actress singer wannabe from Nashville, Tennessee. While this was going on, Alpa was having a meltdown, calling me for help as Albira was violent and was blackmailing her too. So this lady, she had problems. She had her problems. Nick is a bit crazy. What can I say? I fear that he was also violent with her, but I never spoke with her to that degree, so I don't know. She never told me anything, so I do know that she called the police at least a couple times on Nick, so there's that. So this is him talking about this lady, obsessed. My presence is raising her vibe, so beyond her intelligence, humor, and kind heart, I'm going to enjoy her blossom into her dreams coming true. She's an artist. She came in right when I needed. God told me on shrooms, he sent her. So he was doing mushrooms, and God sent her this actress or whatever. And at the time, it seemed funny to me because I was suggesting that he should get a conservative girlfriend, someone that had more things in common, that perhaps wasn't so money hungry as Alpa, But she does all the same drugs I do, no blow, so Adderall, all those things. I don't buy the thing that she didn't do blow. In the end, when Nick got arrested in Nashville, she stole $2,000 worth of blow from his apartment. He told me that because he owed her money. So that's why she did that. Okay, so whatever. This is Alpha. This is the number from the UK. Hey, Alessandro, have a few work stuff to finish. Let me know about it if possible, just to conclude our chat. Want to move forward. So this is February 5th, 2023. Move forward positively in these energies now. We all deserve to, and my love for Nick will never die, yet some powerful healing needs to take place. Whatever you did say to him seems to have had a positive influence. So I brokered this peace, As I said, your loyalty should always be with Nick. I will never expect anything otherwise, but heart-centered and integrity is what is important. Let me know if you're free for 10 minutes or so. XX. So I didn't want to talk with her anymore, basically. Okay, this was my logic. I recorded the phone call with Alpa because I didn't trust her. She had tried to get me fired. Nick told me that. This didn't happen on one occasion. Alpa was always bitching, saying that I actually was getting overpaid. Like, I don't know. I know that her family's from India. I don't know if she expects me to get paid in rupees or what. But, this woman, she's a harpy. I don't trust her. And so, obviously, I knew that Nick was fucked up in the head. Obviously. But, I didn't want to get myself in the middle. So, I'm very tied up today, and at least for the next couple of days, lots of workload at the same time. And after further consideration. I do feel the best for me is not to get involved in this dispute at all. Moving forward, whatever you guys end up doing, I will support as long as it is within basic boundaries of respect. I do want you to be calm in knowing that yes, whatever I can do for Nick to be better and to avoid going after you in any way, I will do. I will never let my bro self destruct like that, regardless of you asking or else. But most of all, I certainly doubt Nick is capable of doing the terrible things you fear he might do. This is when I was still skeptic about Nick being this crazy demon angry guy when he's really after you. And I experienced that soon after I left. But at this time, I didn't believe that because she was saying that he was blackmailing her with her nude pictures. Like they had sex videos and I guess naked pictures and shit, doing sex stuff, kinky stuff. And she claims that he was threatening her with publishing those on the internet or sending those photos to Sasha Stone. So imagine like if I had those things with my wife, the last thing I do would be threatening her with those. Like that's such a coward move, man. And I would never like I want my wife all for myself. I don't would never share any images of her with anybody or anything. Like this guy is like sharing images of her ex-girlfriend, ex-fiance with some guy that he hates out of spite. Man, it's like so gay. Like I'm sorry, but that's some gay shit, man. And I hope I don't get a strike for that. It is a bit late. Voice. Like if your lady is really angry, you know, if your lady is really angry, just leave the house for a while. That's what I try to do. But my wife never lets me leave the house. and and she then just calms down and we never gone through I've never gone to the point of even leaving the house in an argument. We're just way more civilized than that. And once you add violence to the relationship, it's very hard for that relationship to just be healthy. I don't know how you go back from those things. In most cases they don't go back, right? Like they stay on that cycle. Nick has the classic druggy chaotic life. Sad he doesn't see it. She's an Aspie. She's a self-diagnosed Aspie, yes. She diagnoses everybody with autism and Asperger's. This is possible. I don't rule this out at all. But yes. So let's continue. So after this, thank you for your response. You have concluded exactly what I wanted to say, Alessandro. So she was fine. She kept Ari, or at least half of that income. I don't know what was the deal. Whatever. But this is like the things that Nick did to Alpa. He went as far as to curse my mother. For that alone is done. Please just keep him calm and sane. Whatever you said to him and our recorded conversation has erupted. We spoke and I explained why I asked you for help. I humbly ask, just let this go. I am sorry to have reached out. And I told her I didn't, and this is true, I never sent the conversation to Nick. Like I recorded for my own safety, for my own. I wanted to keep working with Nick, and I didn't know what Alpa was planning. I didn't know that she was gonna open to me like that and tell me what was going on with them. I thought she was gonna set a trap or something, and to make to turn Nick against me somehow and make him realize that she was all that he needed or something like that. I was already sketchy, a sketchy situation. Yeah. Yes, I like to think I'm normal. Thank you, Norma. I mean, I try to be fair. I try to put myself in other people's shoes and to to not be close-minded about the whole situation. But he surely makes it harder sometimes. He's a prick sometimes. But so I wasn't, and I was honest. I'm frontal with everybody. I'm honest. I tell you the truth in your face. I recorded for my own well-being, as I had never spoken to you before, and I wasn't sure of your intentions. He knows I have it, and said I have it, and if he needs it, but that I think it's best for him not to hear it and escalate. So I never sent it to him. I was, because I didn't want for him to mess with her anymore. Like I don't like Alpa. I never liked her, but I can put I'm a decent guy. I don't want Nick to go after her. I don't want this lady to be harmed, even though I don't like her. I wish her the best. Whatever. I'm suffering mentally. Physical abuse is not good, but the emotional and psychological chaos I'm enduring. Look, you have your own problems. I'm just gonna try recenter. This has broken me. Please remain the good friend you are to Nick. Sadly, this couldn't be. But that's life. So this is the call that most of you have listened to. And if you see this podcast, I'm not gonna replay this on this podcast because it's a long call and it's a bit excruciating. But basically, you can go on YouTube, Rumble, or BitChute and check it out. It's there. It basically Alpa saying how Nick cheated on her, threatening her because he thought she was cheating with Sasha Stone, and that he hit her, and that she also hit him. Violent relationship, drugs, telling me that I was his only friend, all the yada yada yada. So by now I knew Albier was in a bad place, but he kept me motivated with empty promises and stated he was to put Good Lion TV under my name in case something happened legally or health-wise. Former roommate producer emailed Good Lion TV as Albier stiffed him for $4,000 plus, among other things. So, yeah. Dude, we have such a great team. I was wound up with a lot of anxiety. I didn't even know. Once you came to help with support, shit, even before that, but once that happened, and then I moved here, allowed me for me to calm my bones and get to thinking straight. So during all this time, Nick was taking a time off. It was a month, 2 months, pretty much, 3 months. He helped here and there, but he wasn't producing much at all. Some podcasts, maybe one film every 3 months. I remember him publishing Oprah in August, Pervy with Oprah in August 2022. Then Pervy with Elon, December. Then Oprah Part 2, I don't know, February, something like that. So, he doesn't sound like an unhappy guy. Like, he seems happy with my work all the time. Love bombing, brothers. He was very happy with my job on customer service. That podcast was one of the best, so exhausted after. So we did a podcast with Wake Nation, and It was good, I guess. So he was asking about me and my wife. I'm thinking I'm gonna create something for you to take over good line in the event that something happens to me. You'll have the passwords to continue on the mission. Not fearing that at all, but just realizing if any accident happened, you all would be stuck. So there you go. So yeah, just cooking some pork belly and gonna watch some horror films, and that's my pretty much my weekend life. So this is Nick's former roommate from what's the name of the company? Hush Supply, California, and I guess he has another store, Oklahoma, I think. I'm not sure, but anyway, this is his former roommate. As you can see, it's not good, huh? Says, this man was my roommate. I rapidly moved him into my house after he had to get out of his old roommate place. They accused him of jacking off all over the place. Like, okay, who's gonna make this up? Like, this is not even believable. So I don't see why this guy would make this up. It's just like this guy is so crazy that I don't count this out. He accused him of doing meth, and I helped him move out because it seems so outlandish it couldn't be true. You will think he would have lied and made something else up. It was, but either way, it was very weird. So Nick lived with a gay couple, right? His roommates were gay, a gay couple. I don't know if it was a gay couple or two gay guys, but he lived with these guys and they smoked meth together. So I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Okay? You can make all the suppositions you want. He wanted to film a documentary on me. I took him to Oklahoma. He interviewed some of my long 20-year-old friends. While I was going back and forth to California, he would stay at my house with my mother. He was ordering Asian hookers from Koreatown, and I told him he needs to be careful because he was on federal probation. He told me it wasn't illegal. I told him not to do it. My mom lived there. this is terrible. Like, I would never put this guy in my house if my mom lived there. And this guy bringing prostitutes and doing blow with them. And can you imagine the freaking audacity in this, the degeneracy? And considering he made moves about human trafficking, it seemed pretty hypocritical, whatever. He did a GoFundMe, got almost 10K, promised everybody t-shirts, features, the producer credits, etc. He never followed through. I asked for their addresses. He never would give them to me. He also got money from the Dads Against Predators video he was going to do. When they flew out to stay at my house, he didn't want to pay me for their Airbnb usage downstairs. He tried to give me producer credits. We then got into it. He tried to live without paying rent or deposit. He ended up getting headbutted and blasting all kinds of stuff about me on his Instagram. He never paid me the money he owed, and if he's in my presence again, the forecast shows more headbutts. This guy's funny. I'm sorry, but even though he needs a comma or a dot all in between this is a good story. He called me a loser, then he made 30K a month living in my house while I was down in between licensing with my business. So this is very classical of Nick. And this is because this I know for sure is true. I don't deny any of the rest because I know how he works. Like, he did a fundraiser for his lawyer money when he was arrested in Oklahoma, when he makes 40,000 a month. I know that he collected money for this and never even made the film. That's against predators. Some guys that go after predators, he made a film with them. I don't know what was the deal, but he never finished it. He never did it. The just slipping away from paying things and then bragging about his own riches is something he does with me all the time. So, it's a crazy story, but I wouldn't count it out as lies. So, you know, it's absolutely, Betty. That's the truth. But you have to get out ASAP. You just have to get out. So, what's up within the last year, 2022? It's like, so when Nick says that was the old me, remember, the old me was a year and 2 months ago. And less than that, because he was still like this 6 months after. So it's like, let's see. He would stay in his room for weeks on end, doing enormous amounts of the blow, ordering Uber Eats for every single meal, never coming out of the room. He would text me from the other room when he would be in the same house because he couldn't face anybody with his problems. We did a 12-hour podcast with Jason Q just for him to call him out later and talk shit on him and call his whole circle fake and preposterous. He said he was only in it for the money right after I watched him double his price for subscriptions on his website. They used to be 4 a month. He now charges 7 or 8 a month after he tried to charge 10 and I guess had to lower it. So let's see. I think that's all. Yep. Alpier dismissed Alpa's accusations as nonsense. He threatened her with taking away their joint venture if he didn't fall in line. Ari Topicals LLC, created in April 2022, promising to cure autism, Asperger's, and ADHD, targeting children with desperate parents in the process. Things were nice with Alpa. This is on March. I'm sorry. Okay, this date has to be backwards because in August we were already not cordial. So it has to be March 8th, 2023. Got this. Well, he was the victim, you know. I'm trying to show like Alpa hasn't communicated with me after talking to you. She left a long message but blocked me after. I almost feel relieved to the core, man. She's got a massive meltdown to the point I'd fear I'd go to jail. So that gives you an insight on the relationship and all that. The Ari line has an amazing additional product we got with the modern day genius who made this silver spray that reduces inflammation and is just insane. Alpa will grow Ari as I always planned. Is super dope because I won't be doing anything, but I'll be reaping profits from it. So you see, he loves doing this. He's all about never doing anything but reaping the profits from it. Very cool, very cool, very cool to create something and pass it on like that. I just laughed to not because it's just so ridiculous. But you see, he was always crying on the phone, and on top of me having to do all the work, I had to play shrink too. That's the worst part. Like I should have charged for this, 100 an hour. I'm almost as a licensed psychologist. I only missed like 2 trimesters or something. So yeah, God told me on shrooms, man. Jason Q looks like he's on coke all the time. 100%. Thank you. That's a nice compliment. I appreciate it. Try my best. I'm a bit tired. It's 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 5:30 here in Portugal. I've been up since 11 a.m. yesterday. So burning the candle, but we're almost finished. We're gonna finish the mega thread. I know it's been a long journey, but I just want to keep this on two podcasts. So we're gonna finish at least these two parts. So this is this product. Terrible. Ari works like essential oils absorbed through the skin into the bloodstream. Start with Ari Detox for 12-14 days. After using Detox Snake Oil, then Autism Support Snake Oil comes next. Each bundle costs $225. They advertise for infants to adults of all ages. So this is their product, which is dangerous. It has affected children badly. We have several testimonies of this. You know, and we're not only doing this because, as I said, this is not only because it's a personal thing, quote unquote, right? It's also that this happens to others all the time, like the scam, the gang stalking, the just outright fraud, even in the way he runs his business. But on top of it, he's grifting with this crap that according, and I agree with my wife, this is the worst part of the saga, basically. Yes, he beats Alpa and whatever, but this gambling with the health of children is not okay. So you can see the prices there. Very expensive. Apply to 12 days, and you have to apply the detox for 12 days, then the autism support for 12, I don't know how much. No refund policy. To apply on the foot and the soles of each foot or the navel. So you see here they give you infant to 1 years, apply 1 drop on each foot. So imagine the baby can be a day old and they're already giving you a dose for that baby. And it's just, this is not okay. It's not okay, guys. Imagine having these nut jobs medicating children, even babies. Alpa diagnosed Albert with autism and he does get high on his own supply. No refund policy. Dozens, if not hundreds, of innocent people have been scammed and even harmed by this snake oil. This is another meme that my wife did. Control position starter pack, new age edition. Work with other control up, tattoo, hidden history. Even though there's some evidence on this, it's a bit silly. Like, what difference does it make? Snake oil products, tank tops. And this is what Nick has on his website. I'll let you read it. He was diagnosed by Alpa of having autism, by the way. Okay, we move on. So, Alpasoni has had a long-standing passion for working within the autistic community after discovering that she potentially sits on the spectrum as an ASPI ADHD, as well as suspecting that her nephew, Ari, sat on the spectrum from the age of 2. So I guess Ari is also taking Ari. For the last 11 years, she self-educated herself on all things to do with understanding autism. Nice. Its causes and how to identify it. Someone sits on the spectrum. Especially as she grew up, not realizing she sat on the spectrum and subsequently was very misunderstood by people from a young age. Poor thing, always misunderstood. It's like a Britney Spears song. Misunderstood. During the 2020 turn of global events, Alpa changed the course of direction in her life and her career and embarked on a journey of self-discovery, working in pursuit for seeking truth in our world for freedom and health, which led her to creating ARI, a solution-focused endeavor with her partner Nick Albier. Her ambition for the future of ARI is to set up an NGO, a nonprofit community and organization to be able to assist low-income families with gifting them with ARI and have the product in more centers and retail outlets over the course of the next year. That is her dream. Of course, money, money, money. NGOs, money pits. I mean, money pits for those that donate. Very lucrative for people like Alpa, you know. So this is Nick getting high on Ari. Yep, just had a steak. It was great. Also taking Ari detox. I'm on day 9. I think 3 more left for Ari. That shit strong. Cleanses what? Heavy metals and other toxins. I never felt equally cheaty and equally amazing alternations. So this guy is he appears like he's high as a kite. And just talking crazy. And I'm like, oh wow. I did 3 times the dose one day. It was that day my stomach was fucked. Christmas, lol. So the stomach, this is the problem that Jersey Girls' grandkids had. They had stomach problems. They never had stomach problems before taking Ari. They took Ari and they were sick for like 2 or 3 weeks. Terrible, terrible stuff. We have received dozens of complaints about it, which Albert and Alpa failed to address. We even found falsified testimonies on their website. I will be expanding on this scam as we have sent samples to a laboratory for analysis. We have both formulas. So this is actually a video that my wife made, and this is a fake testimonial. This guy is probably some guy that Nick hired there outside of his neighborhood in California or something. Some druggie or something. I mean, just look at it.
So my name's Tim, and I have an 18-year-old son with autism, and he's a great kid. He's really shy. Some of the things that the tendencies that he has, and with a lot of autistic children, is he wants to be by himself. He chooses not to have friends. He doesn't really want to play games or do a lot of stuff with other people. I've got a buddy that I work with that suggested that I try an oil for his feet, and I'm not into that witchcrafts this stuff is going to be great. It's awesome stuff. But he told me that he can't guarantee that it works. I asked my son, I said, would you be willing to put this oil on your feet? And it's every day, just, a few drops every day. And he said he would try it because he knows that he has autism. He knows his mom told him, you're a senior this year, you're going to go to the prom. No kid, autistic or not, wants to go to the prom with their mom, and went out of the room. When they came back, my oldest boy was dancing with all three girls. And so, we asked, my wife and I, we both noticed a difference. And we asked my daughter, have you ever noticed anything? You noticed anything different? And she just right away, absolutely. Likes the way he talks back. He's getting kind of mouthy.
So there you go. No wedding ring, but maybe we're wrong. This is an assumption, but just by the body language, the lack of wedding ring, among other things, I think this is a fake testimonial. That's why we put it with a question mark. We're questioning the testimonial. There's been no rebuttal from Al Parnick in regards to this specific testimonial. In fact, they never addressed this. So maybe they could do a continuation video with the man and his wife, perhaps. I mean, they can prove us wrong, right? Absolutely. I'll go to sleep in a bit, Norma. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll be fine. As soon as Albert was contacted by the FDA to change his website's wording last November, they changed the ingredients. Why? Basically, they were able to promote snake oil as a cure for autism, ADHD, Asperger's, Alzheimer's, and dementia for almost 2 years, which is illegal. And I'm not a fan of the FDA at all. It's a complete corrupt organization, completely corrupt organization. But that doesn't give you the right to just play doctor and use things that are not advisable to use on babies, especially children, let alone babies. So this is something that Nick published on his Telegram, whatever, about an email that they sent to him from the FDA. So they're asking him to change the wording, intended for the treatment, cure, mitigation, or prevention of disease. For example, your website recommends or suggests the use of ARI autism support and ARI Deluxe essentials to treat or prevent autism. As explained further below, the introduction of these products into interstate commerce for such use violates the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. So, We advise you to review all materials through which you communicate to consumers the intended uses of your products and to either submit a new drug application for products intended for use in treating, curing, mitigating, diagnosing, or preventing a disease, or alternatively, remove all statements indicating that your products are intended for such uses. This would include reviewing your websites, product labels, catalogs, brochures, flyers, package inserts, audio and video, e commerce, and social media accounts you operate, as well as any other promotional materials and removing product claims. I'm sorry. Consumer testimonials, meta tags, and anything else that states or implies that your products are useful in treating, curing, mitigating, diagnosing, or preventing diseases. Within 30 calendar days of the date of this letter, please correct the violations described in this letter and notify FDA. So I guess if he didn't correct this, it was going to be trouble. But, for now, but he keeps advertising it with a clever wording as a cure or a treatment to mitigate these diseases. It's very unfortunate. So he claims they complied to their request. So you all know we had to remove the word treating from the commercial on there. Phil just created a fake document stating we broke the FDA laws, and showing this as proof the FDA already hit us up. Blah blah. I mean, it's exhausting even going through this because Nick is such a bimbo. This is a non-FDA approved product, and there are no clinical trials supporting their claims that these snake oils are a topical proven to detoxify the brain of heavy metals, poisons, and other toxins. It makes way for optimal brain function and autistic behaviors dissipate. So we have the genius here who just cure autism. Like he make this food potion and you put it on your foot or your stomach, and then you're normal, according to him. Like according to this guy, you need his drops to be normal. Pyramid Science Foundation. Alpha wearing, I don't know what the fuck this is, but okay. She has some weird sense of fashion, I'd say that. It includes pyramid energy. And this is when Nick went on to appear on the Lazarus Initiative with Sasha Stone to comment on their viral film, The Greatest Show on Earth. Another psyop. Another psyop. So when you Google Ari Topicals, this comes up. This is clearly the Good Lion logo. That's how he set up the website. I assume he set up the website. I don't think it was Alpa. This is, I guess, Nick's account. Or Jacqueline. This is one of their lackeys. So Alpa is very angry. You can see. They claim I work with Phil. Like Phil is paying me, and I don't know what. Like, who's paying who? Like, show me the receipts and show me what evidence you have. Like, just because I'm going after Nick doesn't mean I'm working with Phil. I was going after Nick months ago. Like, you guys, you really need to start using your brain. Those of you who are saying that I just started doing it is exposing Nick to help Phil. Like, what the hell, man? Like, get a grip. Get a grip. Pues, yes, this is. So she's very angry. His butt hurt, slimy ass, will still blower than low, by teaming with Fildo. Yet harps on about justice for minors. Two peas in a pot. I'm sorry, but I don't sell snake oil and I don't exploit children for profit, lady. That's you. And apparently you cannot do anything else besides that. You need to learn how to write too. This is a disgrace. Alessandro is a sick, obsessed, psychologically, mentally ill weirdo. He's obsessed with Phil now. Oh, I'm obsessed with Phil now. That is obsessed with Phil now, trying to bring down Ari. What a pair of imbeciles and utter fools. Seriously? Like, who writes like this? Man, seriously. And these are the kids that they exploit for clicks and profit. Like, I would never show my kid like in this fucking video in any social media. For what? It's full of pedophiles. Most ads use images of children and toddlers, which demonstrate that this product targets kids specifically. They state that this formulation contains no solvents, ensuring that it's pure. No details on the source or of the ingredients or mention of their scientific names. You know, just creepy.
I love
Creepy stuff.
Ori. I love Ori. I love to sing your dance. Sing your Ori. Yeah. Ori.
This is strange.
I just lucky.
They shouldn't put these videos like this.
Always bring out me.
On TikTok, it's full of pedophiles, by the way. Like, this is exploiting children. This is exploiting children. I don't know how else to put it.
My wife. My love. My wife. My wife. Yay! I want Ori. Thank you, Ori. I just lucky.
Can barely watch this. So this is what they have on their website. I mean, do I have your attention now? Do you see how creepy this is? This is creepy as I don't know. Many testimonials state that once the children are given Ari, they suffer from nausea, violent headaches, and stomach problems for days on end. From my wife research, she doc all on Ari. We know the general medical opinion on this subject is that the use of oils requires careful consideration by a medic, as it can cause negative symptoms. Adverse reactions from essential oils are possible and likely. Damages related to children. Concentrated oils are very risky for children and should be avoided. It's not okay to use essential oils around babies, especially newborns, because of their sensitive skin. Oils shouldn't be used on infants under 3 months old, even when diluted. Respiratory systems can also suffer. Diffusion oils around infants under 6 months old is not okay. So this is Alpa's Telegram promoting this garbage. That's all she does. Discount, better eye contact, increased vocabulary, better social interactions, less meltdowns. Where are your studies to back this up? I'd like to know. This is the same kid again. This is Nick's post for it, I guess. Get your fluid state of mind back. See children making eye contact again, reduce anxiety, and become more pure in your body with each application. So each application of like you can continue using this forever and just become better and better and better and better and better, right? Because they want to keep you hooked to it. They want people to just never stop taking it. It's completely insane. More sociable. Loves putting Ari on. No more accidents at nighttime. This is ridiculous. Emotional regulation. Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. It's recommended to stop using oils immediately if there are any side effects like nausea or headaches, and call a doctor. Albir and Alpa are experimenting with these poor children, and when asked about these side effects, they recommend continuing the regular dosage. That's child abuse. So, never apply pure oils directly to the skin. Okay, it says here that if you have a headache, you have to call doctor right away. So this is Alpa replying to a customer like 3 or 4 weeks later, saying, "Market, thank you for your email. We say to use it for 12 days, and whatever you are purging is a detox symptom. You didn't go through that time. This is the body getting rid of built up toxins in the body. On our side, we say no refunds. Sadly, I am not on Amazon." So Alpa is great too, full of. I'm not on Amazon, so okay. Clearly, you're not. You're like from I don't know, Bangladesh. I don't know what. How is it called, Mumbai? I'm not on Amazon, and once a sale is made at buyer's desire, we have a no refund policy. So she's claiming she's not on Amazon, I guess. Sad. I'm happy to call you and get the herbalist Donald to walk you through what is happening. Would that help you? Imagine with this guy that is the creator of Ari, that is some. It's a bit strange, that guy. By law, essential oil makers are not allowed to advertise that their products can prevent disease. Exchanging reviews for freebies is not allowed. Rubbing potent potions onto the skin can lead to chemical burns or irritation. If they're swallowed, they can be deadly. So yeah, this is the detox support ingredients. These are examples of poisoning with essential oils in children. They call it an herbal formulation, stating that it works like essential oils. Is it even similar to an essential oil? If it's not an essential oil, what is it? I want to thank my amazing wife and Alua for this incredible report exposing Ari. So thanks to my wife, she took the time to do this, for example.
We did the detox program and the support program now. Again, drink detox tea or anything. You feel a little funny, a little nauseous, and a little, stomach's upset, maybe a little lightheaded. I did not know what to expect with Colton. He did scream almost like violently for about 2 days. His head hurt. He was grabbing his head. He was clearing out bowel movements left and right. And it was if he had experiences with this, and he just said, listen, hang in there. It's only 12 days. And it was hard. It was hard at first. He had trouble sleeping. But again, after that.
So I think that explains a lot. That's sketchy, right? Yeah, I didn't like that. A mystery couple named Donald and Barbara Hepler supplied them with a formula, but on his live streams with a spiritual dumbass Alpa, he seems lost. He doesn't seem to know what he's talking about. You cannot find anything on them. Conclusion: what they're doing is criminal, preying on desperate parents and selling snake oil as a treatment and cure. Not only are they selling something that doesn't work, but that appears to be potentially harmful instead. Alpha has been involved with many scams over the years. So, New Age health savant, Alpha Sony. Imagine. And she has the fucking elephant here. This is what Nick is indulges in, all this crap. The New Age crap. Divine feminine, freedom fighter, and enlightened entrepreneur. This is how Alpa sees herself. A divine feminine freedom fighter. So a goddess, freedom fighter, exploiting children, enlightened. This clown, I don't know who he is. A code where we go on, one we go all to save the children. Warrior deals a cabal crushing blow. Imagine, like this is the propaganda, right? So as Betty said on the chat, Alpa's being involved with Root for a while. This is one of the things she's being involved with, just like Sasha Stone. The Stargate pyramids, alkaline, Kangen water, whatever that is. You know, Asia. You know, Dita, some Asia water. I don't know what it does. And Nick spoke about it like a couple of times, but I never cared to ask more than I was told. You know, I just wanted to pretend that didn't exist. So part 3 comes out this weekend. I'm gonna probably put it out tomorrow or Sunday. And as we progress, we'll have a better notion of how these controlled agents operate and for what reason. In the meantime, I invite you to watch my videos and subscribe to my website. We have tons of well-researched content. So whenever you want, come to totaldisclosure.net and you'll have access to all these films. Tons of good stuff there, as you can see. Jim Morrison, Led Zeppelin, Justin Trudeau, Avicii, The Dark Side of Airbnb, Natasha Haid. This is a film exposing abortion. Stanley Kubrick, Michael Hutchins, Balenciaga, Chris Cornell, and Chester Bennington. So we have a weekly report. We have all the episodes here. So these are the subjects. Like, our website is pretty easy to use. Sign up to our newsletter. That's crucial for us to keep in touch with you in case we get the platform again. That's going to be how we reach to you. So there's many things to go around. As you can see, we also publish a bunch of free films here on Wolf Watch. We have the podcast episodes here. If you want to subscribe for a membership, you first need to register. So you register your account. You can log in and all that. We have merch. We have a fundraiser. There's all kinds of ways to subscribe. We are enabling PayPal in the next days, so keep an eye for that. And that's pretty much it. I guess I managed to keep your attention for a while, and I appreciate it. It was a long journey. It's very exhausting to go through all of it, but it was a must. We needed to do this sooner or later. The sooner the better. It's 6 a.m. here, and I'm basically drinking some orange juice and hanging out with you guys. But thank you for going through all that with me. It was pretty intense and extensive. I was gonna say, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. I might hang out here for a few minutes more, but we'll be ending this live stream in 10 minutes. I need to go to bed. I actually told my wife I wasn't going to take long, but I always say the same. Thank you, Magical Maiden. Good night. Sleep tight. Sleep well, all of you guys. So you were unsubscribed from Rumble. Imagine that. I bet. Rumble, they have their problems. Obviously, I think they're way better than freaking YouTube with all the censorship, but the people that are involved with Rumble, tread lightly. Tread lightly. It's time for breakfast. Yes, we grilled some steaks last night, and I'm gonna just chomp down on one or two before going to bed. Gonna get some orange juice, a steak, maybe some mashed potatoes, and go to bed. But it's we're usually night people. Like, sometimes my wife works from 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. She's a translator. So I usually stay awake at the same time. And, that's what we do. Oh, now that you asked this, Betty, I'm going to show you how Nick met Alpa. I forgot to show that, but it's here. It's here. I just flew through that image. Is this image? This is where. Okay, let me put the screen share again. Okay. This is when Nick met Alpa. So here's Nick with Roger Stone, Judy Mikovits, Alpa, Mel K Ultra, Scotty Clown Fighter. I don't know. Like, who the fuck calls himself Street Fighter? Please, come on, man. John Voorhees, the guy from Google. Zach Voorhees, I'm sorry. You know, this is Brotunda. I guess this was before, or I think this was after J6. No, so it would make sense that this guy is there introducing him to everyone else, right? Just for you to take that into account. This is all we're all started. I hope things come. I hope things get better. They have been a little bit rocky for us. So, we're looking for. We have a possibility to work for a film producing company, but some things need to happen before that. So I don't want to announce anything, but I will be basically in charge of a huge budget to produce films. We're talking seven figures. So, but that's just. She's 45. Nick is like 34, 35. She's 46, and Nick is 35 now. But yes, I have an offer. They already sent me the more or less like the pre-plan of it, but it's conditioned on certain events. So if these things happen, my wife and I will be set up. But we're waiting for that. In the meantime, our business has been growing steadily but very slow. Which is good. Constant growth, cannot complain. We do. I sometimes we get the notion that we work harder, that we work too hard for what the business is getting back to us. But it's not just business, right? It's more than that. So, and working in what you love has no price. It's priceless. So it's one for the other. You cannot complain and bitch all the time, and just take things as they are, and keep trying to work hard and pushing through the censorship and all that. And 7 a.m. in Holland. Jeez. Well, I think I'm gonna take a slow Saturday because it's been an intense week. I took off most of Friday, and I don't know, but I do like working on the weekends anyways. And as I was saying, we're mostly night people, my wife and I. Like, she's more active during nights. I'm very hyper in the morning after coffee and all that. But if I need to stay up late working, burning burning my eyebrows, I'll do that. So I guess you don't have many questions. It's the way the presentation was done. It's pretty clear, right? Now, obviously, there's missing things there. There's missing things about the things he did to us after we left, like the stalking and all those things that we need to include in the next thread. And also the evidence of him being linked to New Star, which is linked to Lockheed and Martin. So that's something I'm going to show on the next podcast. And also, I guess, his second arrest and everything that happened around it, because there's some drama there too. With Nick, it was tiring, man. Like, it was both things, because in 2022 he almost never bothered. Like, he was in 2021, I'm sorry, he was distracted for the most part with Alpa and whatever. But 2022, man, like first, like just I was just I had to take care of everything, man. And the guy wasn't even making films. One film every 3 months. I was making 4 videos a week and taking care of marketing, customer service. This extends for 6 months. Then I fixed the situation for him with Alpa. Then he gets arrested. We have to take him out. I need to organize the fundraiser, his defense, everything. He comes out of jail, accuses me of stealing $5,000, which I immediately pay him back because I had the money in my bank account. It's just that he didn't ask for it, and we were just keeping it in case he needed to pay him for more lawyers, whatever. But he thought I spent it. I sent it to him. Then a month later, my dad dies because of the vaccine. That was a killer blow. And then, of course, a month later, the conflict with Nick happens, and it's been debilitating. For the most part, I'm happy 2023 ended. I hope this year is better. Last year was a freaking drag, man. But anyways, I don't want to be a doomer. There were good things as well. I guess I'm just tired after a long podcast. I don't usually do these things. I will do my best to keep my morals and integrity, for sure. Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure. You rock. Thanks to all the subscribers of the website. Thank you to all of our audience. Thank you to our producers, Adrian, Mike, Gabby, Kathy. You guys are great. There's many people I want to mention that have come on board in the last weeks as well. But we're gonna keep pushing strong. And yeah, it seems like it was a setup. We're gonna keep our integrity. I mean, if we haven't sold out by now, yes, the second arrest was a complete setup. It seems like it. So maybe that was in the cards already. I don't know. I just know that if I show you the evidence, you will take the right decision. But I appreciate you staying for so long. Well, 4 hours. I never podcasted for so long in my life. That was a freaking marathon. I take off my hat to you guys for staying so long. God bless.